Good morning. More cash, more chaos as Labour prepares to hand France another fortune to try to stop the boats.
Yes, a new three-year deal includes extra patrols, intelligence teams and riot police on French beaches, but only if crossings start to fall.
Well, with migrants still arriving, critics are asking, why is Britain paying more with so little to show for it?
Well, the French are going to put more police, 1,100 law enforcement officers along their 70-mile stretch of coastline. But the price tag for this has gone up from 500 million to 662 million.
Sir Keir Starmer fights for political survival as opposition parties demand a sleaze investigation and Labour MPs publicly call for him to go.
On this St George's Day, Sir Keir Starmer says England's flag belongs to decency, not division. We'll mark today's celebrations with a special live performance.
And a very good morning from Washington, D.C., where in the last few moments I've wrapped up an exclusive interview with the US State Department's principal deputy spokesperson. He says whether Donald Trump really has the power to force Iran's hand, what the true endgame is, and whether this was ever about regime change. Catch that interview shortly.
Elsewhere this morning, Britain's barbershops face a changing landscape while still playing a vital role in men's mental health.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Were you moved? Well, today is Shakespeare Day, a day for fans like Michael to celebrate his life and work.
Well, it's good enough for Michael, it's good enough for me. 106 days into a 6.5-year contract and 5 losses in a row, Chelsea sacked their manager, Liam Rosenior. After 200 days at the top of the Premier League, Arsenal are replaced by Manchester City, and Burnley are now the second club to be relegated to the Championship.
It's chilly out there again this morning, but for many it is a cracking day if you like spring sunshine. Still breezy in the southwest, although not as windy as yesterday, and there will be some mist and low cloud across parts of the east. Join me later for our full forecast and a look at today's weather and tomorrow's.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast.
If you're English, happy St George's Day.
Happy St George's Day.
If you're watching in Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland,
Happy St George's Day.
Happy St George's Day. Well, you all celebrate your own, so it's time for England to celebrate our own.
What are your favourite English things to celebrate on St George's Day?
Cricket.
Cricket's a good one.
Being played on a green somewhere in the countryside with a pub nearby and the rolling hills, the green and pleasant land, the sound of leather on willow. I'm turning into Michael Portillo again. The sound of leather on willow, you know, and the evening comes and it's sunny and it's just a summer's day.
Yeah, you
Bell churches.
Cricket's a good one.
It is.
Yeah.
See,
Ale in a pub.
Sandwiches afterwards.
English country garden for me.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
All that sort of
Those
stuff.
pastel flowers, the English country garden.
Very Miss Marple.
Yes.
All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think of sport, actually, funnily enough.
Do you?
I think of football and rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the pride that people feel about being English. Who was it, Chloe Kelly, who said, I feel really proud to be English? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, and I really like that. It's rare that you get
really
people saying that, because everybody's scared to say it these days, and I'm glad that she did say it. I like the city. I love London. I like old London. You know, I'm a big fan of that as well. It's all very English. You know, it's a wonderful country.
It really is. It really, really is. So tell us the things that you are proud of this morning. If you are English, what are the things that make you proud to be English? What are the
Roast
things that you
dinners.
most love about
Roast
England?
dinners.
Roast dinners, yes. It's a fantastic one. It's got to be beef.
You cannot argue with that. No. Anyway, I was just looking to see if anyone's messaged in with a message yet, but no.
But they will, and we're going to keep across them.
You just saw saying, as in Moira is saying, Michael Portillo is pure class.
Ah, well, that he is.
So there you go. Anyway, do get your thoughts coming through on what you enjoy about England.
Yes, tvnews.com/you'll say.
In the meantime, in our main news this morning, the Home Office is set to unveil a £600,000 three-year deal with France aimed at cracking down on small boat crossings, boosting patrols and intelligence sharing.
Well, the UK will commit £500 million to strengthen enforcement on French beaches, with a further £160 million released if the new approach actually reduces crossings.
Ministers say it's the first time funding has been directly tied to results in tackling illegal migration.
We're joined now by GB News Home and Security Editor Mark White, who is live for us this morning from Dunkirk. Morning to you, Mark. It's a huge amount of money. Is it going to work?
It's an enormous amount of money, and sticking with the theme, of course, the nation of St George has handed the nation here of St Joan of Arc £662 million is the potential top price tag at the end of this three-year project. Now, as you said, some of that is linked to the performance of the French, but not the majority. The majority, this £500 million, is still going to be given to the French without conditions, in the sense that, you know, they'll just go on and do the job that they've been doing. It's only that 162 additional £1 million that will be linked to their performance in stopping the small boats crossing the channel. And they'll still get, it's going to be paid yearly in increments of just over £50 million. They'll still get the first year's £50 million regardless of how they do performance-wise, because the Home Office will assess how they've done at the end of that first year. So they get that regardless. It's whether they get the other 100 and a bit million after that. But the Home Office, what they're saying is, look, you know, try not to concentrate on this very hefty price tag. Difficult not to do that, I think, but they're saying you've got to see what this deal offers us, and they say it offers much more than the previous three-year deal that was agreed under the Conservative government, in that instead of 700 law enforcement personnel who are going to be on duty over the 70-mile stretch of coast that these migrants set off for, it'll be 1,100 law enforcement personnel, and in addition to that there will be new equipment, high-tech equipment, including the latest in surveillance technology. There'll be a new patrol craft that will be specially tasked at interdiction operations to go to try to interdict these taxi boats in particular that come off from the shore with only a few migrants on board, and then they come down to this beach in Dunkirk and other locations, and they pick up many dozens of migrants from the beach. So that specialist ship will be tasked with trying to get in there and stop these small boat taxis before they can actually do that. But, you know, it's a big unknown, as I say, and 500 million was the deal that the Conservatives struck. You know, in terms of not being linked to performance. 500 million is also the deal, it seems, that Shabana Mahmood has struck without any performance element of it. It's just that additional money, the 162, that's linked to the performance.
But Mark, shouldn't they be doing all the stuff you talk about and the interdictions and all the rest of it? Shouldn't they have been doing that anyway?
You know, you raise a very good point, and I've been saying that myself for some time. It is the duty of any sovereign nation, I should say, to guard its own borders, to make sure that its own borders are secure, that people are not either coming into their borders unchecked or leaving their borders unchecked, and of course that there's no criminality that's being conducted along their borders as well. That is the duty of any nation. We have to do it. We don't get paid by any nation to do that. So there is a big question there. Why do we pay France to do the job that they're supposed to do in the first place? But hey, you know, we are where we are. We've got a government that seems happy with paying out this very significant amount of money every few years in the hope that it's going to enthuse the French to be more robust with the migrants trying to break the law. I was speaking to a Home Office senior source last night, actually, and I was asking, what are you going to do? That's, you know, you're boosting security along the 70-mile stretch of French coastline that the migrants take off from. What are you going to do about the Belgian problem? And that has really begun to bite in terms of how significant a problem Belgium is, because just last weekend we had the biggest number of migrants pushing off from Belgian beaches, 250 last Saturday, and it's only getting bigger, and that's probably what we're going to see going ahead. If there's more police down here, the migrants will just go further up the coast into Belgium. There wasn't really an answer as to what they were going to do, Stephen and Ellie, other than, you know, work in, you know, a more cooperative way with the Belgian authorities.
All right, Mark, for now, thank you very much indeed.
Now, at 11 minutes past 6, opposition parties are calling for the Speaker of the House, Lindsay Hoyle, to refer the Prime Minister to the Privileges Committee. That's the same body that brought down Boris Johnson.
Well, it comes amid criticism over Peter Mandelson's appointment, with one Labour MP now calling for Sir Keir Starmer to resign. Could there be others on the backbenches?
Well, as Cabinet concerns grow, Tory leader Kemi Badenoch says there's evidence that the Prime Minister misled Parliament. So, could this be the final straw for Sir Keir Starmer?
Former political advisor Charlie Rowley is here. Is it the final straw, or are the opposition parties grasping at straws here?
Very good.
Well, that's a very good question. I'm not sure it is the final straw, because we've got the local elections taking place in May. The results of those could be another problematic to say the least. And then, of course, the attempt of a King's Speech thereafter when Parliament comes back from those local elections. Anything can happen in between there, and Labour MPs, I think, are waiting for those two events to take place before they can actually make their minds up whether or not they think that the Prime Minister and the leader of their party can continue in post. But it is incredibly damning, because we know that another set of files of Mandelson papers will be released. I think it's about the 13th of May, so that's a week after what would initially be yet another government reset if it gets its King's Speech sorted. But the Prime Minister is on a sticky wicket. He is hanging on to the idea of simply the security vetting part of this whole saga as his defence. He's a lawyer, after all, he's a barrister, and that is the only part of which he can now rely on, because you had Sir Ollie Robbins obviously giving his very, very good, articulate evidence, someone that's actually able to answer a question and explain away all of the issues that were present, whereas the Prime Minister only seems to hang on to being able to say due process was followed. Now, there is a discrepancy in what the Prime Minister said yesterday when he said that there was no pressure put on Sir Ollie Robbins. That's clearly not the case. Sir Ollie was very, very clear. There was pressure, whether it was private office to private office in his office, whether it was the private office of Number 10 to the Foreign Secretary's office. There was pressure, as he described. So the two accounts don't match up, and you would have thought, as a lawyer, Sir Keir Starmer would have been able to make that clear. But today we've got Kat Little coming up, who, before the same committee, the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, she's in the Cabinet Office, who presented a document to Keir Starmer outlining the issues that the appointment would have created by having Peter Mandelson as your chief diplomat in Washington. So the argument is you don't actually need the security vetting part. All the evidence was in front of you, Prime Minister. This was a bad appointment. It should have been made, but you chose to make it.
Can we talk about the front page of the Daily Telegraph today, which is reporting this growing rebellion in Cabinet? This is Rachel Reeves, Shabana Mahmood, Wes Streeting and David Lammy, all accusing the Prime Minister of creating a them and us split between ministers and senior civil servants. And Rachel Reeves going as far to say to Keir Starmer that you need to keep civil servants on side. What do you make of that?
Well, I think they'd be right, because if you look at the operation in Number 10, however Sir Keir Starmer comes across and whatever you think about him, the facts are, and he would want to, I think, highlight the facts if he was sort of sitting in this chair, and if he was prosecuting, as he had done former Prime Ministers like Boris Johnson. You know, he's gone through 2 Chief of Staffs now, Sue Gray and Morgan McSweeney. He's lost his Director of Communications, Matthew Doyle. He lost his Director of Strategy, Tim Allen. He's lost 2 cabinet secretaries, Simon Case and Sir Chris Wormald. He's now lost a most senior diplomat, someone with 25 years' experience, now gone, head of the Foreign Office. That's Sir Ollie Robbins. Where does it end? That is the operation around Sir Keir Starmer that is not stable.
What I don't understand with all of this is because it gets this is the procedural side of this is very complicated. You need to really wade through it, but ultimately, it seems like he got rid of Sir Ollie Robbins because he made an error of judgment, in his view. Whereas the Prime Minister himself on Monday admitted that he had made an error of judgment in appointing or wanting Peter Mandelson to be in that job. So if you can sack one person for an error of judgment, why don't you resign yourself for an error of judgment?
And that is the question now that most people will be asking, because it is then that one rule for one rule for another. It is the us and them culture of, hold on, the Prime Minister is in a bunker mentality mode, where it is one rule for him, where he is at a distance between him and the civil servants, the code of conduct of which he holds to their standard. But also there is a disconnect, I think, between the backbenchers as well. You know, they've got over 400 MPs. You know, they should be flying by in terms of getting through legislation. They should be having the time of their lives. But yet we're in the situation that we're in, which is creating clearly a very unhappy situation for those Labour MPs.
OK. Charlie, thank you so much. We'll see you in the next hour.
Right, at 16 minutes past 6, let's have a look at some other key stories this morning.
Counter-terrorism police have arrested a 19-year-old and a 26-year-old in Watford over an alleged arson plot targeting a site linked to the Jewish community. The Met Police say both men remain in custody. 9 people have now been detained in 3 days as part of the investigation.
The NHS says all maternity services in England will have to change clinical standards to reduce the number of women dying during or after childbirth. Latest figures show 252 maternal deaths between 2022 and 2024, 20% higher than between 2009 and 2011.
A more than 300-year-old tree thought to have inspired the Bramley hedge books have been found in Epping Forest. It's believed to be the only pollard tree of its kind, standing near Barn Hoppet and Warren Pond. The area was a favourite walking and sketching spot for author and illustrator Jill Barklam. Happy St George's Day.
Yes,
if you are just joining us, we are talking about all things that we love about England, and there are so many lovely views coming in. It's warming the soul this morning. Jeffrey says, the things I like about England are English breakfast. How could we not have said English breakfast? It's the best thing in the world. And fish and chips.
Fish and chips, indeed. Elizabeth Montague, I'm with you. Elizabeth says, afternoon tea with Victoria sponge, lots of strawberry jam and fresh cream.
Victoria sponge is a great one. Sylvia says, a day at the seaside. Fish and chips, candy floss, a paddle in the sea, finished off with a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole sort of thing, a knotted hanky on your head, all that sort of... Do you know, it's all quite old-fashioned stuff, isn't it? But it's...
all the good stuff.
But it is the good stuff. It's the nostalgic stuff, isn't it?
David says, trooping the colour.
Yeah.
That's very English, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very... Actually, it's a lovely thing, is trooping the colour.
And so many of you are just saying Happy St George's Day.
Yeah.
So happy St George's Day to you.
Yes.
From everyone here at GB News.
Indeed, indeed. Mark it, enjoy it. I always used to mark it when I was a Cub Scout. It was a big thing when I was a Cub.
Yes, same when I was in Brownies. Yeah, it's very patriotic.
But now, of course... interesting, the Prime Minister said that the flag shouldn't be divisive. Now, I can't think of the exact turn of phrase he used now, but it shouldn't be a divisive thing. Well, in that case, stop ripping them down from flag posts. I think it's lovely to see the St George's flag flying on lampposts, or the Union flag.
Yeah, I think it's really, really lovely.
Or the saltire, or the Welsh flag, or whatever.
You only really see them over, during sporting events, don't you?
Yeah.
Lots of people commenting on my makeup this morning. They're all saying you look really different. It's because I've got red lipstick on for St George's Day.
Yes.
Which I don't usually wear and I don't actually like. But
we normally match
I'm gonna do it
ties and
today.
dresses, but today we've matched ties and lips. It's a first.
It's a first, but yes, I'm trying to do St George's colours, so white dress, red lips, if you're listening on the radio today. But that's everyone's saying I look very different this morning.
You look great. Love it.
I don't know, I think the jury's out on that one. But anyway, let's get a check on the weather. I think the sun's going to be shining today. Alex Deacon's got all of the details.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Largely dry and sunny one again today. Still a bit breezy in places, quite warm inlands, but those breezes will bring a chill to some coast. Bit of a misty, murky start over parts of eastern England, and the coast of the North Sea may stay a bit misty for much of the morning, but generally it's dry and it's sunny. Still a bit breezy in the southwest, quite as gusty as yesterday, but still a noticeable wind here, and a bit of a breeze bringing a cooler feel along the coast of East Anglia and Kent, and generally temperatures on that east coast in the low teens, but inland, of course, parts of Wales and the Midlands, high teens, low 20s likely, and a warmer feel across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland too. So a fine end to a sunny day for much of Scotland. The wind's pretty light here. Where we've got the breeze coming in from the sea, it will be a little bit cooler, but certainly inland feeling pleasant well into the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Northern Ireland, just a bit of patchy cloud here, and again around the coast might just be a little bit misty. The sea fret should be burning away through the day, but there's always the possibility of a little bit of it lingering around the east coast of England. I mentioned those breezes in the southwest, a touch lighter today compared to yesterday, but still quite noticeable and still there overnight as well. As the breeze feeds in, a bit of mist and low cloud across these eastern parts is likely through the night, so could wake up to a bit of fog tomorrow morning, and likely to be a pretty chilly night across these eastern parts of England. Some pockets of frost certainly likely in rural spots, and quite a few towns and cities not far off freezing to start Friday. So a cold start, a grey start as well, but I think pretty rapidly any mist and low cloud, certainly inland, should tend to clear away. And then, look at that, plenty of sparkling blue sky, lots of sunshine on offer again on Friday. Again, a bit of a breeze in the southwest, but the wind's continuing to ease down through the rest of this week, and certainly inland, in that sunshine, feeling pretty warm, getting warmer still into the weekend.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Happy St George's Day to James, who says English bulldogs, Winston Churchill, the Battle of Britain, and a roast dinner, and of course a good pub.
Yeah.
My favourite things about England is
Fair enough, a good country pub.
Has to be a country pub.
Yeah. Anyway, right, still to come, talking of things that are very English.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle.
It's Shakespeare Day. We're going to be hearing all about celebrations for the bard coming up next, and we'll leave Michael to get ever more animated.
It is a tale told by an idiot.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain,
with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Now it's time for our daily reflection at 26 minutes past 6.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hello, my name is Johnny Dade and I'm a vicar in the Church of England. Now I'm standing here in front of this statue of the second of our church's patron saints, St George, though whether this likeness is accurate is probably up for debate. But it is St George's Day today, patron saint of course of England, besides several other nations. Now, who was he? Well, that is the question. And most importantly, did he slay a dragon? Answer, no, he didn't, sorry. Most likely, George was a soldier in the Roman army who served in the Middle East some 300 years after Christ, and at a time when Christians were very much persecuted by the empire. A committed follower of Christ, George refused to worship the pagan gods of Rome or bow the knee to the emperor. Now, these steadfast convictions and his courageous faith would cost him, eventually, his life. The Bible speaks of a battle that we are embroiled in, not one of flesh and blood, of swords and guns, but a spiritual battle for our very souls. Standing for the truth is sure to be costly. Jesus said so himself. So we should not be surprised or defensive when persecution comes our way. It's par for the course. But the inspiration of the early Christian martyrs lies in their willingness to lose their lives for the sake of something higher. This, as Jesus demonstrated, is what love and faithfulness ultimately look like. Now, many today will talk the talk and signal their credentials. Far fewer will be willing to embrace the cost that love and truth really demand.
Yes, I think that's really interesting, actually. It's not what you say, it's what you do that matters.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very good point.
Yeah, very special daily reflection there for St George's Day. Oh, and just there was one that just came in through saying what you love about England from D. I love so much about England. This time of year specifically, I love to walk in the bluebell woods.
Oh, nothing nicer.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, keep those views coming in.
Well, it's not just St George's Day, it's also National Shakespeare Day, commemorating the birth of renowned playwright and poet Mr William Shakespeare.
Well, GB News national reporter Jack Carson visited Shakespeare's hometown in Stratford. You went there recently, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, Stratford-upon-Avon.
Yeah, it looked fantastic. Anyway, he heard how locals view Britain's most famous playwright.
Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. When Twelfth Night was first performed, William Shakespeare was already recognised as London's leading playwright and poet, but no one could have foreseen the centuries of life his works would enrich. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in 1564 into a prosperous family and moved to London sometime in the late 1500s. The bard wrote 38 plays, 2 narrative poems and 154 sonnets. Speaking to GB News in 2025, director at the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust Professor Charlotte Scott said the success of Shakespeare across the globe has helped to extend his influence.
We feel very passionately and proudly about Shakespeare's works and the way in which they have become significant across the globe in different ways. And Shakespeare is, of course, constantly being reinvented through adaptation in theatre. And that's wonderful, because that allows us to return to Shakespeare as a kind of agile source for further creativity.
Credited with over 1,700 words in the English language, his influence creeps into every part of our lives, and his works are still recited to the masses.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more. Or at least it's something like that.
462 years on since his birth, how do people in his hometown of Stratford view Britain's most famous playwright?
I just think it's really important still to learn about him, because you never stop learning about him, do you? There's so much to take in about him.
I think it's useful to learn about. I think it's more interesting for adults to learn about than children, to be honest, because we learn more when we're actually interested in it.
We're a dismissive, throwaway culture. And you know, if we carry on like this, we'll lose this, and then our future great-great-grandchildren are going to say William who and so what. But the buildings look quite old and nice, you know, and it's not about that, is it? Communication is everything, and I think that's what Shakespeare is about.
The imprint of Shakespeare on our lives shows no sign of fading. All the world's a stage, and there he continues to stand. Jack Carson, GB News, Stratford-upon-Avon.
I was just looking at words that Shakespeare invented.
It's amazing, isn't it? There's loads. How
it's
many?
Terrifying. More than nearly 1,200,
wow.
Including alligator, bedroom, downstairs, eyeball, fashionable, gossip, hurry, inaudible, jaded, hissing,
questioning.
I mean,
these are just everyday words. Traditional, varied, worthless.
Undress. I suppose it was disrobe or something before that.
It would have been, wouldn't it? Absolutely incredible. Yelping. Yeah, all of these words that we use every single day come from one man.
It's extraordinary,
and his incredible mind.
Anyway, I don't know if travelling is one of his words. Could well be, you never know. But if you are travelling to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Currently on the M74 northbound, traffic restrictions are imposed between junction 13 and junction 12 due to a significant road traffic incident causing disruption. In Durham, the A19 southbound has one lane closed between the A1086 and the A181, with conditions projected to improve after 7:15 this morning. Regarding train services, London North Western Railway is operating a reduced schedule between Bletchley and Bedford, and London Overground services are also facing reductions between Dalston Junction and New Cross. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Now, do stay with us still to come. Paul Coyte's going to be here with all your sports. What have we got for us, Paul?
Well, after 200 days at the top of the Premier League, Arsenal are replaced by a team who've only been top for only 6 days, although it does happen to be Manchester City. We'll do that in a second.
I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here. GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device.
And as long as you have an internet connection. Tune in to GB News, anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray, are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it. Don't get this on the BBC. Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos. I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak. Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Welcome back. It's Sports Time. Paul Coates here with us. Morning.
Good morning. It's all change at the top of the Premier League. So, as I mentioned earlier, Manchester City have only spent 6 days at the top this season. Arsenal, over 200 days at the top this season, and now Manchester City are doing what Manchester City very often do, win a lot in April, whereas Arsenal, it's not really happening for them. So, although it's nowhere near over, because it is so close between Arsenal and Manchester City. Both teams have played 33 games. Both have won 21, drawn 7 and lost 5. The goal difference for both of them is 37. They are exactly the same, apart from the fact that Manchester City have scored more goals. So 5 games to go between the two of them. Although Man City have got a FA Cup semi-final at the weekend, and they will play, and Arsenal will play twice in between that time. So it seems likely that it will go like this again. But it is very close, and it's very exciting, I've got to tell you. And it's
nice to have a bit of proper competition.
You know, isn't it? It really is. So Manchester City beat Burnley last night. Now, Burnley were relegated, so along with Wolves, they've now gone down. Manchester City only scored 1 goal, but when I mentioned goal difference, and also goals scored, they needed to try and score a hatful last night. They had 28 shots, only scored once very early on, but the 3 points was the most important thing. So that will continue. So Manchester City then, so they have got FA Cup semi-final against Southampton on Saturday. Burnley are down, and there's only one place now left at the bottom of who is going to go down. Who do we think? Spurs are on 31.
It's going to be West Ham. Sorry.
West Ham on 33.
Sorry, Hammers.
Forest on 36 with 5 games to play. So you're going to say West? You think it's going to be West Ham?
Haven't I?
Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't want to tempt fate. Because the thing is, you know, sports people are so superstitious. For example, this is how superstitious footballers are. You know, they put this one sock on before the other one. The late, great Martin Peters played for Spurs and West Ham, ironically, and also World Cup winner. Whenever I'd see him, and I knew him quite well, he would never walk past anybody on the stairs. So if you were at the bottom of the stairs, he was at the top. He would wait and say, no, you'll have to go first or I'll go. So he would wait there like all day because he was that superstitious.
Really?
So that's the reason. I'm not going to say who I think. I know who I hope. So what do you think, Stephen? You've got, your Nottingham leanings as well.
I do.
West Ham, Spurs.
Well, see, West Ham that I'd have to go for because, Nottingham I wouldn't want to see go down and I wouldn't want to see Spurs go. I've got a fondness for Spurs. But
and also, it would be a nightmare for you, wouldn't it, seeing me every day if Spurs had gone down. So I appreciate that. But anyway,
I wouldn't want Spurs to go down.
Well, Leeds drew last night against Bournemouth. They played Bournemouth and that ended up 2-2, which means they've moved up to 40 points. So they should just about be out of it now. They should be OK. Now, they've got an FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea on Sunday, which is the other FA Cup semi-final, which leads me into Liam Rosenior, the Chelsea manager, who's now got the elbow, 6.5-year contract, 5 losses on the bounce. He lasted, 100 and something? 106, something like that, days. And it was never really going to fit. And the things, you get a thing with player power. They look at a manager and think, well, who are you? What have you done? I'm not really sure whether I want to play for you. I don't know whether But anyway, and also I think probably the parting shot that happened, we played yesterday, happened the other night when they lost again, is Liam Rosenior when he lost 3-0, and this is to Brighton, and then he started throwing the players under the bus. And once you do that, then you know it's over. Let's have a look at what happened yesterday.
In the pride that you should have in wearing a shirt, that was unacceptable. I've defended the players, and I am accountable. I've always said that. But after tonight, I think the players as well need to have a look in the mirror for what they put in. And talk about tactics. Tactics come after the basics. Having moral courage to play, winning duels, winning headers, tackles, conceding terrible goals. That was an unacceptable performance tonight.
He's always going to win there. I feel sorry for him because I think it's a job he couldn't say no to. He was at Strasbourg doing well, and that was part of the group that Chelsea owned. And they've said, we'll get them. They seem to want managers that they can manipulate and say, do this and do that. And I think the problem at Chelsea is higher than that. And who knows who's going to go in, who's going to want to go in, unless you want to make a load of money. I don't think you're going to get a big name, and then is it going to be someone else that they can then just say, right, we want you to do this and that? I don't know. But anyway, that's how things are looking at the moment.
We're in trouble with Dawn Neeson.
I bet we are.
Sorry, Dawn.
She's a hammer. I heard that about West Ham, she said. Oi!
Oi!
This happened the other day with her and Chris Akabusi.
Sorry.
Yeah, see, they're double West Ham, aren't they?
Yeah, I know, but look, if the choice is between West Ham and Spurs, I can't say Spurs, can I?
We're not doing it from the heart, we're doing it from the head, aren't we? We're just thinking this is how things are going to pan out. But we'll see.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Just time to tell you about the Great British Giveaway. Just 2 weeks left. Or is it 1 week? 1 week tomorrow, I think.
It's a week tomorrow, it is. Well done.
Aren't I good? Because usually I don't remember the dates. But I have this time. It's the biggest prize of the year so far. 25 grand in tax-free cash, plus a brand new 4-berth camper van.
Yeah, make sure you don't miss out. Here are the details.
There's just 2 weeks remaining to grab your chance to win our biggest prize of the year so far. Just in time for summer, you could be driving away with your very own 4-berth camper van. This Benny Van 122 could give you the perfect getaway this year, as it comes complete with all of the features you'd expect of a vehicle worth over £67,000. A built-in kitchen and bathroom, dedicated living areas, and panoramic opening rear doors. Plus, you can drive it on your existing license. We'll also give you an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash. Lines close on the 1st of May, so make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 333 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes are closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yeah, best of luck to you. Now, still to come, some breaking news this morning because Prince Harry has gone to Ukraine, apparently. It's a surprise trip after his Australian tour. We'll bring you more in the papers with Norman Baker and Will Kingston in a moment.
But first, here's your forecast across Europe.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries, all sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Friday is set to be dry and sunny across much of Italy. There will be some showers in southern Spain and some heavy showers through some of the Greek islands too, particularly Crete. Sunny spells in the Canaries. There's that wet weather I talked about in southern Spain, also affecting northern Morocco. Should be clearing through during the weekend. Fine and sunny in Italy, a bit of a brisk chilly breeze across the far south. And there are those showers across some of the Greek islands, particularly some heavy ones likely in Crete. Still a few showers here on Saturday. Plenty of sunshine in Dubrovnik.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Lots of lovely people all here to enjoy themselves here. The sun is shining. We've got some live music on stage, which thankfully, it's just about to start again. I thought we'd just got a little bit of peace and quiet from the music, but I want to speak and show you and introduce you to Killerin Cavendish, who I think is one of the best dressed people here at the St George's Day celebrations. We've got the red and white, we've got the St George's cross, we've got the dragon as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us, why have you wanted to come out today and celebrate St George's Day?
Well, I do it every year, and I think it's great. I like dressing up anyway, because I go to festivals, and I like celebrating St George's, because I love dragons.
You love dragons?
Yes.
Tell us about the dragon, because is this a puppet dragon as well, am I right?
Yes, he is. But I can't do the talking bit.
And he's got a little bow tie on as well. As you've got your wonderful hat on as well. What do you kind of think about when you think about St George's Day? What are some of the things that you think are worth celebrating when it comes to St George's Day?
Well, I think of pubs, people eating scones, having queen teas, enjoying Pimm's if it's nice, roast dinners, anything that's English really.
Yeah, and why is it important that we mark days like this? I mean, we've got a great celebration, of course, here, in the middle of Trafalgar Square, but all around the country, there's little St George's Day celebrations. Why is it important that we all get out and celebrate a day like this?
Well, I think we need to remember who we are. This country has a lot of cultures which we enjoy celebrating and joining in, and I think it's important to celebrate our own as well.
Amazing, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's 6:48. We're going through the papers this morning with former Lib Dem Minister Norman Baker and our very own GB News contributor Will Kingston. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Norman, let's start with the Times, should we? And this huge amount of money we've agreed to pay the French.
Yes, and we've covered this already this morning, of course, on the programme. But the reality is that the French have no incentive to do anything for us. That's the reality of it. And that from their point of view, they can either get a lot of money from the UK or they can let people come across the channel. There's no skin off their nose, and that's probably where they're at. But the consequence of this is that there is more money going across. It may result in fewer people crossing the channel. At least she's built in, the Home Secretary, some sort of incentive scheme, even if it's only on the extra money rather than the base money. So I suppose it's a step in the right direction. Whether it'll turn into reduced numbers is a moot point.
Well, we've been told that the Home Secretary is going to be playing hardball. Does it sound like hardball to you?
Well, Norman didn't sound like hardball there. He kind of said it may work, it may not work. It's all very Lib Demi there. But it's very, this is very, very easy, this concept in terms of illegal migrants. If you make it intolerable to come to this country, people won't come to this country. So, like Australia did in the early 2010s, if you say that if you arrive by a boat, you will never, ever have a chance of being a migrant to the United Kingdom, people will not come. If you say that you'll be detained, maybe on Ascension Island, maybe in a military camp in the United Kingdom, people will not come. I really am a tad frustrated by the Lib Dem types, like the Labor types who say, well, this is just an intractable problem. It's not. It's very, very simple. If you say if you never, ever, ever have a chance of coming to this country, if you arrive by boat, people will stop coming.
What do you think, Noah?
Well, I mean, first of all, under international law, I'm sorry to quote international law, how you arrive in a country is irrelevant. Is irrelevant to whether or not you've got a case or not. That's a legal position. I mean, we're not going to allow people to come in by a private jet, I hope, and then say we haven't come by a boat, so that's all right.
If we violate international law, what will be the consequence of that?
If you defy international law, well, the consequence will be to reduce rights for people in this country because it's based on the European Convention of Human Rights. And if you reduce those, you reduce rights for our people as well.
What rights will English people have by getting out of the ECHR?
If you look at history of cases brought to the ECHR by people in this country against British government, you'll find that we've been successful on a number of occasions. But look, I mean, there are other ways of dealing with this. First of all, you have to make sure people are processed very quickly. They don't have extended appeals, and therefore that's a disincentive. If they come in, they know they're going to be processed very quickly, and if they don't get a case, they'll be removed from the country. That's not happening at the moment, and the Conservative government we had before had a policy of deliberately not pursuing this quickly as a disincentive. Didn't work. It was a bad policy.
OK, all right, let's leave that one there, because we could talk about that and eat all our time up. So let's move on, Will, to the Telegraph. And apparently the Cabinet has turned on the Prime Minister.
Is anyone surprised?
Well, not massively.
I'm genuinely stunned that people are actually supporting him at the moment, in that he is not a politically talented operator. He doesn't believe in anything, and he's electorally a liability. So they will stay with him until the May elections, and then we will have an election. It will either be Rayner or Miliband. It will probably be worse, and that is unfortunate. But there is a higher principle here, and that is, this is a man who is fundamentally without principle and at the same time fundamentally without any political competence. So,
well, he would argue against that. I mean, he would.
I'm sure he would.
He would say he's got principles. I mean, the political side of it is more difficult to argue. I mean, he's not a politician.
I don't think he's not a politician, and he's a bureaucrat. That's part of his problem, and he doesn't see things through a political telescope, and that's been very obvious during his time. I wouldn't say he's without principles. I think that's a bit unfair on him. What I would say is he's incapable of delivering anything which is in the shape of leadership or inspire the public at large. As for the future, he will go after the local elections. Who's going to replace him? I don't think it'll be Miliband. Every Labour Party wants Andy Burnham. They have to find a way of getting him into Parliament.
He doesn't have a seat yet, does he? I mean, the Daily Telegraph saying the two names under discussion are actually Wes and Ange, direct quote.
Well, I think neither of those is going to cut it, to be honest with you. Andy Burnham is a much better politician.
What would you think make of a Wes and Ange coalition?
Wes won't get it in a million years, because Wes is centre-right in the Labor Party, and the Labor Party's kind of base will go for the left-wing option, which will be Rayner. Like, Rayner is what they will go for. But like, the issue is like, he obviously, Starmer, is not a principled person. And this is the problem that we face right now, and that is why I think he will go after May 7.
OK. Right, you two. There we must leave it, but we'll see you both a little bit later on. Thank you very much indeed.
Stay with us. Still to come, we're going to discuss the changing face of Britain's barbershops and speech reform spokesperson for Home Affairs, Zia Youssef, about their St George's Day announcement.
Yeah, before all that, though, let's have a look and see what your St George's Day weather is going to be like. Here's Alex Deakin.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Largely dry and sunny one again today. Still a bit breezy in places, quite warm inlands, but those breezes will bring a chill to some coast. Bit of a misty, murky start over parts of eastern England, and the coast of the North Sea may stay a bit misty for much of the morning, but generally it's dry and it's sunny. Still a bit breezy in the southwest, not quite as gusty as yesterday, but still a noticeable wind here, and a bit of a breeze bringing a cooler feel along the coast of East Anglia and Kent, and generally temperatures on that east coast in the low teens, but inland across parts of Wales and the Midlands, high teens to low 20s likely, and a warmer feel across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland too. So a fine end to a sunny day for much of Scotland. The wind's pretty light here. Where we've got the breeze coming in from the sea, it will be a little bit cooler, but certainly inland feeling pleasant well into the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Northern Ireland. Just a bit of patchy cloud here, and again around the coast might just be a little bit misty. The sea fret should be burning away through the day, but there's always the possibility of a little bit of it lingering around the east coast of England. I mentioned those breezes in the southwest, a touch lighter today compared to yesterday, but still quite noticeable and still there overnight as well. As the breeze feeds in, a bit of mist and low cloud across these eastern parts is likely through the night, so could wake up to a bit of fog tomorrow morning, and likely to be a pretty chilly night across these eastern parts of England. Some pockets of frost certainly likely in rural spots, and quite a few towns and cities not far off freezing to start Friday. So a cold start, a grey start as well, but I think pretty rapidly any mist and low cloud, certainly inland, should tend to clear away. And then look at that. Plenty of sparkling blue sky, lots of sunshine on offer again on Friday. Again, a bit of a breeze in the southwest, but the wind's continuing to ease down through the rest of this week, and certainly inland in that sunshine, feeling pretty warm, getting warmer still into the weekend.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M74 is restricted northbound between Junction 13 and Junction 12 after a road traffic incident. On the A1 southbound, the exit slip to the A696 around Newcastle upon Tyne is queuing, with 10-minute delays. On the M6 southbound between Junction 10 and Junction 9 near Walsall, a crash is causing lane closures. Also, the M11 northbound between Junction 8A and Junction 10 has congestion, with 20-minute delays. And on the trains, London North Western Railway has reduced service between Bletchley and Bedford, and London Overground is reduced between Dalston Junction and New Cross. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
There's just 2 weeks remaining to grab your chance to win our biggest prize of the year so far. You could be driving away with your very own 4-berth camper van. This Benny Van 122 could give you the perfect getaway this year. We'll also give you an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash. Lines close on the 1st of May, so make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The late edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, late edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. More cash, more chaos as Labour prepares to hand France another fortune to try to stop the boats.
A new 3-year deal includes extra patrols, intelligence teams and riot police on French beaches, but only if crossings start to fall.
Well, with migrants still arriving, critics are asking, why is Britain paying more with so little to show for it?
Well, under the Conservatives, the 3-year deal with France was valued at £500 million. This latest 3-year deal could top out as much as £660 million. But the British government say they are confident it will provide value for money.
Sir Keir Starmer fights for his political survival as opposition parties demand a sleaze investigation and Labour MPs publicly call for him to go.
Well, it is St George's Day and the Prime Minister says England's flag belongs to decency, not division. Well, we'll mark today's celebration with a special live performance.
And a very good morning from Washington, D.C., where in the last few moments I've wrapped up an exclusive interview with the US State Department's principal deputy spokesperson. He says whether Donald Trump really has the power to force Iran's hand, what the true endgame is, and whether this was ever about regime change. Catch that interview shortly.
Elsewhere, Britain's barbershops face a changing landscape while still playing a vital role, apparently, in our mental health.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Today is Shakespeare Day, a day for fans of the bard to celebrate his life and his work.
Michael does that on the trains. Did you know that? The 4:52 for Victoria. He always does that. It's fantastic. Right, this is all about numbers. The sport, 106 days into a 6.5-year contract and 5 losses in a row. Chelsea have sacked their manager, Liam Rosenior. After 200 days at the top of the Premier League, Arsenal were replaced by Manchester City, and Burnley are the second club to be relegated to the Championship.
It's chilly out there again this morning, but for many it is a cracking day if you like spring sunshine. Still breezy in the southwest, although not as windy as yesterday, and there will be some mist and low cloud across parts of the east. Join me later for our full forecast and a look at today's weather and tomorrow's.
It's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. Happy St George's Day.
Indeed.
You're English and you are celebrating today. Kaz has been in touch saying, morning, Stephen and Ellie. The studio should have been decorated with flags. Well, Kaz, your wish is our command. Hang on,
Well,
it's coming.
probably.
Well,
Eventually.
ready.
We're being told it's coming.
Yes.
We did have big flags out one year. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure we did.
I brought one into the studio once. I don't know where that is now.
Here we go. By the magic of television, if you're listening on the radio, you'll be thrilled by this. Apparently we've got some flags appearing.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, it is there.
Oh, we've got a big flag in the background. Very nice.
Very nice.
Well, that's all. Actually, I think that looks. Oh, I think that looks all right, actually.
Yeah. Oh, and it's gone. Do you want to get that back up, just whilst I read a few of these? One from Maureen saying, the thing I love most about England is church bells ringing out on a sunny Sunday morning.
Yes.
That is a lovely
It is.
sound.
Yeah, it is a nice sound.
And very English.
I
Very
hope you go to church when you hear those bells.
Yes.
That would be
Wilhelmina's been in touch saying, for me, it's Wimbledon. Pims and strawberries and cream.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all sort of that very traditional stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Larry says, great show. Really loving the Englishness today.
You know what I like? Also, the other great thing about England is that there's so many different accents in such a small place.
Yeah.
How you could go 50 miles down the road and then a completely different accent.
Yeah.
I like that. I do very much like that.
Yeah.
They must have it in other countries. You don't really notice it apart from in America. But like,
Do you think so?
Yeah, they must do. There must be different French accents and things, but you don't. But you don't really notice it, do you?
But there's so many great regional accents in
Absolutely.
England.
That's another great thing.
Oh, yeah.
And one from Linda who says, happy St George's Day, everybody. Also, it's Prince Louis's 8th birthday today.
Is it?
Apparently so.
Is he 8?
It is. He's 8. Grown up fast.
Heck,
Grown up
that's
fast.
scary, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? So happy birthday, Prince Louis.
Yeah,
and happy
indeed.
St George's Day, everybody.
And happy Shakespeare Day.
And happy Shakespeare Day.
We're
It's a
throwing
great
more
day,
in.
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Packed schedule.
Yes, I know. Were you good at Shakespeare, though? I didn't really.
Loved Shakespeare.
Did you? I wish I
Yeah.
did. I'd like to pretend I did, but I didn't really get it.
Loved Shakespeare. Loved Hamlet. Saw it recently. Cried for days.
Did you?
Oh God.
I cried for days because I had.
That was fun.
I cried for days because I had to go and see it. That's the other end of it,
Yes,
unfortunately.
Yeah. It's because we're plebs, Paul.
We are. That's why.
That's fine.
She's classy, you see.
No, but I studied English literature, so I've always loved it.
All right.
Anyway.
Right, let's crack on, because the Home Office is unveiling a £660 million 3-year deal, and it's paying all that money to France, cracking down on small boat crossings, boosting patrols and intelligence sharing.
Yes, the UK will commit £500 million to strengthen enforcement on French beaches, with a further £160 million released if the new approach actually reduces crossings.
Ministers say it's the first time funding has been directly tied to results in tackling illegal migration.
Well, we're joined now by GB News Home and Security Editor Mark White, who is live from Dunkirk for us this morning. Morning to you, Mark. An enormous sum of money. Is it going to work?
Yeah, well, that's a big unknown, and you're right, Ellie, it is a huge sum of money, but the Home Office are urging us not to get fixated on what is a very pricey price tag of £662 million at the top end if the French police perform the way the British government hopes they will. What they're urging us to do is look at what the deal provides, and they say compared to the £500 million deal that the previous Conservative government signed with the French, well, there'll be more than 400 additional police officers, going up from 700 police officers guarding a 70-mile stretch of coastline to 1,100. And they'll have significant amounts of new equipment as well, the latest in technology to help them. There will be a specialist boat that will be provided along with the crew as well, and it will be tasked with interdicting these migrant taxi boats. We see them, of course, coming down the river tributaries with just a few migrants on board, but then they come down just offshore to the beach here at Dunkirk and further down Gravelines, down towards Calais, and they pick up many, many dozens of migrants who wade out into the water and scramble on board these taxi boats. Well, this specialist boat now that law enforcement will be able to fund from this extra money will be used specifically to go after the taxi boats as well. And, you know, we were told that Shabana Mahmood, though, was playing hardball with this deal, but I'm not sure quite how good at hardball she is, given that, you know, the deal itself has gone from 500 million up to potentially 662 million. As I say, the government say they are accentuating the positive as to what the deal will offer, but only 162 million of that 662 million is performance related. They'll still, the French, get the 500 million regardless of how they perform over the next few years.
Seems slightly ironic, Mark, because we were talking to you over the weekend, all this coming at a point when we're actually seeing a lot of people now coming over from the Belgian coast.
Apologies, my earpiece has just come out just now, Stephen. Just give me a sec.
It'll be windy on the coast there, won't it?
I was just saying, Mark,
give me the last part of that again, sorry.
Well, it's the irony, isn't it, that there's now all this additional money going into this at a time when we're seeing more and more people head over from the Belgian coast.
Yeah, and that's one thing that the government, I'm not sure, really has an answer to at this stage, other than trying to work a bit more with the French. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm going to put my cameraman Jim on the spot here. You can see him racing to the camera. If you turn the camera around, Jim, further up there, you will see a couple of French police patrols. We're just going a bit further around. Be a bit messy for you. Chris, just get out of the way of our shot if you don't mind, buddy. So you see up there, that's one of the, well, two of the Police Nationale vans with various officers on board. There's one there that's moving down to the seafront, and there's another one to the left of that, Jim, that you can see by that flagpole as well. And we saw, we'll bring you next hour, another few of these CRS riot patrol officers and Police Nationale officers in their riot vans just a little bit further back from the beach, waiting for the possibility of any migrant launches this morning. I should say it's a bit windy for that. You never know. There might be one or two attempts, but nothing so far. As I say, you see the French are here, and what we're told by Shabana Mahmood and those within British government is we'll see many more of these French, thanks to the good old British taxpayer, many more French police on their northern beaches.
All right, Mark. Thanks very much indeed. We'll speak to you a little bit later on. I mean, look, I know it's just a snapshot. I know it's not real, but you see, as Mark was showing us there, a van with police in. You think this is costing us now £200 million a year.
Yeah.
And you just think, is it really going to be enough? How many more are we going to see?
Yeah.
What difference is it going to make?
Is it value for money? And also, you could ask, why are we sending all this money? Why are we paying the French to patrol their own borders in the first place? No one sends us money to patrol our borders.
No, but I suppose the argument is, and you can understand it in a sense.
It's traffic coming one way, isn't it?
It's one way, so why would they want to stop them?
Mm.
But they don't seem to be stopping them very effectively anyway.
Well, no. But would it be in their interest to do so? Because it's not their problem, is it, if they head in this direction?
And also, this idea that the government's defending this by saying it's, in effect, performance-related pay. You'll get more money the better you do with this. But as Mark said, they're getting the 500 million anyway. It's just the addition. We've put more money on the table and said, we'll give you more money, but only if you actually stop people.
Mm.
Why wasn't that just tied into the 500 million?
Yeah, and many people this morning saying this is tackling. It's not tackling the cause, is it?
No.
I mean, people just keep getting on boats, and as Mark was alluding to there, they're actually transferring to Belgium already. We're seeing that happen. Maybe we need to deal with the Belgians next.
Well, it's just going to cost us more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Anyway, let us know. You will have a view. gbnews.com/your say.
Now, at 12 minutes past 7, opposition parties are calling for Sir Lindsay Hoyle to refer the Prime Minister to the Privileges Committee, the same body that brought down Boris Johnson.
Well, it comes amid criticism over Peter Mandelson's appointment with partner Labour.
I know, it's my fault entirely. I do apologise. came from. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk to Charlie Rowley, who's here, because, I mean, you're always one to straighten out a conversation, aren't you, Charlie?
Good morning.
He was doing it as well. He was
We had a little look, didn't we? I think we had a little
set
look.
me off. Anyway.
Talk about a slip of the tongue. This is a nightmare, isn't it, for the Prime Minister, because actually, for all the procedural argument that there's been, now seems his cabinet's turning on him. Is he really hanging by a thread?
Well, one could argue, actually, he did well in the Commons yesterday, and that's why...
It was a lot better than expected.
A lot better than expected, yes, yeah. He didn't quite have the blows landed on him that you might have thought on the back of Sir Ollie Robbins's appearance at the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, but that's why then the hawks start to circle, and I think you'll find I'd bet this studio on it. That the people that are now coming forward to say, if you're a backbench Labour MP, that time's up, the Prime Minister must go. I think you might see that they might just be supporters of either Angela Rayner or Team Burnham. So I don't think they were particularly the closest people to the Prime Minister anyway.
But Andy Burnham doesn't have a seat. I mean, this is a long way off, isn't it?
And this is the problem. And the two problems that we find is, first of all, is that however bad it gets or seems to get for the Prime Minister, I mean, this is day 8 now, I think 8 or 9, where the Mandy saga has run and run, the Mandelson saga is front page news still, dogging the Prime Minister, dogging the government. And yet there is still the view out there that, OK, get rid of the Prime Minister because, you know, he's tainted and all the rest of it, and the polls don't seem to be moving in his direction. But it could be so much worse. You know, who do we go for? Who would the Labour Party go for? In order to get rid of the Prime Minister, 80 Labour MPs have to not just say, right, mate, we want you out, but they have to be open about and they have to say who they actually want to come in. And so the Labour Party is then incredibly divided between Angela Rayner, people on the right of the Labour Party that might still want West Streeting. But you're right, people are circling still around Andy Burnham. But the one problem there, as you say, Ellie, he hasn't got a seat. He's not an MP.
Well, yeah, but what, I mean, is Ed Miliband going to be smiling over his bacon sandwich this morning? Because, I mean, a lot of people are saying it could well be him.
I wouldn't bet the studio on it, as I would my previous statement, but I think there is a high chance of that happening, because when you look at the others, and Ed Miliband seems to be playing a sort of game where he's sort of saying, I'm not really interested in it, and don't worry, this isn't for me. It's the sort of if the ball came loose from the back of the scrum argument, where he's sort of saying, well, if colleagues really want me to do it, I'll step up to the plate. And he has got a story to tell. He was a leader of the opposition, so he's got experience of the dispatch box.
He failed at a general election.
He failed at a general election, but since then he's been able to sort of rebrand himself, he would argue, but particularly at a time where, if you look at where the support is draining from the Labour Party, it's going to the Greens. Who is Mr Green in the Labour Party? It's Ed Miliband.
But do you think he wants leadership because he loves his brief?
Well, he can do a lot more from number 10, I think, to ensure that the brief that he currently has is actually able to go forward. But, and, you know, when you know, you're down in the doldrums, as lots of Labour MPs are, MPs that are coming on this channel.
Jonathan Brash yesterday?
Jonathan Brash yesterday, brash by name, was very brash yesterday by sort of saying it's basically the end of the road for the Prime Minister.
Will that open the floodgates, do you think?
I think we'll start to see more people, yes, whether they're genuine, and I know a lot of them will be, but as I say, a lot of them will be supporters of others who want to see their, whether it's Angela Rayner or Andy Burnham, they want to see their person in the top job. But Ed Miliband, you know, when you're down in the doldrums, has got a story to tell. He can make the case, if you're a Labour MP that really is in despair, he can say, look, you know, the green agenda is the right one. You know, net zero is going to be the future for young people. It's quite an easy argument to make, and one that, if, as I say, if you're really desperate, you think, well, OK, that is quite a positive story. We'll have to go with that because Angela Rayner's still got tax affairs issue with HMRC and was obviously sacked from the cabinet because of that. West Streeting might be far too close to Peter Mandelson. He was a friend of Peter Mandelson's, and the whole reason we've got rid of this or potentially the Prime Minister would be deposed of his position is because of the Mandelson saga. And then you start looking around to say, well, where else and who else? There isn't much to go on, and so it's quite possible that the Prime Minister, after all of this, 8 days into this scandal, when we've still got now other senior cabinet civil servants giving evidence today, and Morgan McSweeney next week. So, despite Parliament not sitting, there is still going to be drama in Westminster in the run-up to the local elections and beyond it. So, this is going to run and run and run.
OK. Charlie, thank you very much indeed.
Right, let's get a check on the weather now, shall we, with Alex Deacon.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Largely dry and sunny one again today. Still a bit breezy in places, quite warm inland, but those breezes will bring a chill to some coast. Bit of a misty, murky start over parts of eastern England, and the coast of the North Sea may stay a bit misty for much of the morning, but generally it's dry and it's sunny. Still a bit breezy in the southwest, not quite as gusty as yesterday, but still a noticeable wind here, and a bit of a breeze bringing a cooler feel along the coast of East Anglia and Kent, and generally temperatures on that east coast in the low teens, but inland across parts of Wales and the Midlands, high teens, low 20s likely, and a warmer feel across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland too. So a fine end to a sunny day for much of Scotland. The wind's pretty light here. Where we've got the breeze coming in from the sea, it will be a little bit cooler, but certainly inland feeling pleasant well into the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Northern Ireland. Just a bit of patchy cloud here, and again around the coast might just be a little bit misty. The sea fret should be burning away through the day, but there's always the possibility of a little bit of it lingering around the east coast of England. I mentioned those breezes in the southwest, a touch lighter today compared to yesterday, but still quite noticeable and still there overnight as well. As the breeze feeds in, a bit of mist and low cloud across these eastern parts is likely through the night, so could wake up to a bit of fog tomorrow morning, and likely to be a pretty chilly night across these eastern parts of England. Some pockets of frost certainly likely in rural spots, and quite a few towns and cities not far off freezing to start Friday. So a cold start, a grey start as well, but I think pretty rapidly any mist and low cloud, certainly inland, should tend to clear away. And then look at that. Plenty of sparkling blue sky, lots of sunshine on offer again on Friday. Again, a bit of a breeze in the southwest, but the wind's continuing to ease down through the rest of this week, and certainly inland in that sunshine, feeling pretty warm, getting warmer still into the weekend.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Still to come, we're going to be talking to Reform spokesperson for Home Affairs, Zia Youssef, about their St George's Day announcement.
Yes, but next we're going to discuss the changing face of Britain's barbershops and their important role in society.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray, are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong Tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
7:24 now. This will be news to you, Ellie, because barbershops. Because I doubt you ever go in one.
I have never been in a barbershop, but you like to frequent a barbershop.
Well, they're a great.
Always getting your hair cut.
They're a great British institution. They've been around actually more commonly since the sort of 1800s, but the industry has evolved. And I don't like the. Actually, I do not like the term safe space.
Do you not?
No, I think
Why?
it's a bit. It's. I don't know, but it is a space for men where you sit down with your barber, who's generally, you know, got all sort of blokey type, and you have a chat.
Oh, see, that just surprised me, because women sit and chat with their hairdresser about everything and anything, but I wouldn't have thought men are the same with their barbers.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Well, recently, a Chelsea footballer has come under fire after his barber leaked information ahead of their 3-0 defeat against Brighton. So we've been asking this morning, should men reveal all to their barbers? And should barbers keep those conversations discreet?
Well, yeah, I mean, discretion is always good. But let's talk to Ben Wilson, who's owner of Wilson's Barbershop. Good to see you this morning, Ben. I mean, there is something about... I know, as Ellie was saying, women at the hairdressers maybe talk about maybe more than we do at the barbers, but it's just the chance to be able to get a few things off your chest, isn't it? Which is actually it's really good for the soul.
Yeah, definitely. I mean... We get many different people come in our shop, from school teachers to paint and decorators, all across the board. And it's something crazy. When they sit in the chair, people unload. They will tell you everything. Yeah, so you hear a lot of stories.
My best friend is a hairdresser, Ben, and she always says that her job is part therapist because, as you say, people sit in the chair and they unload. Is that the same for barbers? Do you feel as though you are a good therapist? You're good with giving advice and helping people deal with their problems?
Definitely, yeah. Therapist is definitely the right word for in our industry. People, they will tell you from affairs to... deaths, you know, anything that comes in that they need to unload, they will talk to you and they will tell you about stuff that they probably wouldn't tell their friends. There's something really, I don't know what the right word is, maybe special in the barbershop, that people just feel very comfortable and they speak very openly and freely to you.
Is it about wanting advice, do you think? Because I know you're also part of Tom Skinner's mental health walks for men, or is it just about spending time with another bloke and actually being able to get stuff off your chest to someone who gets it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, this modern world, it's quite tough for men. There's quite a lot of stresses and everything, and men just don't talk to men, basically. But when you're in the barbershop and it's just you and another guy, and they feel comfortable, they'll tell you stuff that they're going through, that sometimes you need to unload. Men need to unload. And it's a very comfortable situation to speak in a barbershop. If the shop's busy and it's really busy, they're probably not going to talk. But if it's just you and the other guy, they're going to unload. They're going to tell you stuff that, like I say, they probably wouldn't tell their friends and family. They find it very comfortable to talk to you. And sometimes they need to unload and they just want someone to listen. And that's all it is sometimes. Maybe just a cup of tea and a chat will just help them through their day as well. Because you don't know, there's a lot of stresses going on.
Yeah, but I wonder, even if, you've got a busy shop, so the people aren't going to be that sort of indiscreet in a way, but even it's just having a laugh with someone, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. One of the major conversations in our shop is football. We have a lot of football back in the shop, obviously, with everyone supporting different teams. And when one team loses, they all go in on one guy. And then when the other team wins, that guy then has his moment. So there's a lot of ups and downs through that. But that's just one section of it. You really do get to know people working in certain towns and being there for a long time. You get to see people grow up as well. So you get to see them from their first haircut through to when they're 20, 25, moving on up. You can have a dad come in with his son, with his dad as well. So you do 3 generations of men. It's a real good experience. It's a very enjoyable experience. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about Tom, Tom's been doing a lot of work with his walks on the Sundays, and they're really good as well for men's mental health. It's again, people just going on the walks and sometimes they just need to talk and someone just needs to listen, and it's so important.
Yeah, it's a brilliant initiative. Keep up the good work, Ben. Really good to talk to you this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers. Have a great day.
To see you.
Thank you.
I do think there's a lot to be... And even just like over the football stuff, a lot of it's banter. Banter seems to be banned these days. People don't like banter.
Yeah.
Because it can be a bit close to the edge at times. But sometimes you just need a bit of that.
And especially for men, I think. They need it. Yeah. It's connection, isn't it? That's what it is, ultimately. Robert's been in touch saying, good barbers are like taxi drivers. They know when to speak and when to be quiet.
Yes, absolutely right. They really do. They really do.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to talk, they'll fill the gap.
Yeah. And they say it's like a new version of the landlord or barmaid there to chat to. Yeah? Let us know what you think. Keep those views coming in. gbnews.com/you'll say.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Right, time for the Great British Giveaway now. There's just a week and a day left if you want to take part in our biggest competition of the year so far. £25,000 in tax-free cash, plus...
a brand new 4-berth camper van.
Worth?
£67,000. Put me on the spot there. Put it together, £92,000 is what the prize is worth.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, these are all the details that you need.
There's just 2 weeks remaining to grab your chance to win our biggest prize of the year so far. Just in time for summer, you could be driving away with your very own 4-berth camper van. This Benny Van 122 could give you the perfect getaway this year, as it comes complete with all of the features you'd expect of a vehicle worth over £67,000. A built-in kitchen and bathroom, dedicated living areas, and panoramic opening rear doors. Plus, you can drive it on your existing license. We'll also give you an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash. Lines close on the 1st of May, so make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes are closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yeah, best of luck to you. Still to come, we're going to be talking to Zia Youssef from Reform UK. We'll get his thoughts on the new migrant deal with France and their own St George's Day announcement. It's an interesting one. It's all coming up next.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 northbound, traffic is heavily restricted between junction 13 and junction 12 due to a road traffic incident causing significant delays for commuters. Meanwhile, on the M60 clockwise, a crash between junction 15 and junction 17 has led to one of 4 lanes being closed, with conditions expected to improve after 8 o'clock this morning. Additionally, on the railways, Avanti West Coast and cross-country train services are experiencing schedule disruptions at Motherwell due to ongoing operational issues. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Right, we're going to go through the papers at 7:35 as we await Zia Youssef to turn up at our position, so we can have a chat to him about what reform are planning. We'll talk to former Lib Dem Minister Norman Baker and GB News contributor Will Kingston, who've been delving through the papers for us this morning.
Will, let's start with the Times, shall we? And this deal with the French to stop the boats. We're sending more money, aren't we, to France?
Well, it's all tinkering around the edges, isn't it, Ellie? Like, the fact of the matter is, unless you change the fundamental legal framework which has enabled people to come to this country for years and years, you are not going to change the amount of people who are arriving, which is why there were, hundreds and hundreds over the last couple of days. It doesn't matter whether they're coming from Belgium. It doesn't matter whether you give the French, an extra £100 million here or there. If you don't actually create a disincentive to come to this country, they're going to keep coming. And look, Shabana Mahmood talks a great game, but the numbers speak for themselves. People are still coming.
We are going to break into you two there just because Mr Youssef is ready. So back to you two in a second. But let's say Zia Youssef joins us now from Westminster. Good morning. It's nice to see you this morning. What do you make of this deal? We're not only renewing the deal with the French for another 3 years at £500 million, we're chucking another £160 million on top.
It's an absolute disgrace. Look, you just look at the numbers. Tory and Labour governments have already sent the French government £700 million of British taxpayer money. What did we get in return? Record small boat crossings. What else did we get? We see photos of French border control, so-called French border control, on their iPhone, smiling, taking pictures of small boats full of military-age men that they basically set off from their shores to come to ours. The majority of the almost 200,000 people who have turned up on our beaches uninvited and without the consent of the British people came under the Tory government, but now more have turned up under Keir Starmer's prime ministership than any other prime minister. So why on earth we would throw even more money after that bad is beyond me. And, you know, Shabana Mahmood made a big deal, if you remember, saying that, you know, she would not accept any more of this nonsense, and any money that the British government would pay France would have to be performance-based. Performance-based. Well, as you've just pointed out, less than a third of the new £650 million deal is going to be in any way linked to performance, i.e. the French get to keep the vast majority of that money with no performance whatsoever, which I think is always their intention. Why would France want these people staying in France? It is obviously in France's interest that they would come to Britain. Otherwise, there'd be a burden on the French state and the French taxpayer and potentially commit crimes in France, as opposed to Britain. So this is obvious to anyone with half a brain. And what's the real shame of all of this, by the way, is that the root cause, the underlying cause of this money being wired to the French government is simple. Labour, just like the Tories, are unwilling to leave the ECHR, to derogate from these international treaties, to declare that if you come to the country illegally, you will never be allowed to stay. And most importantly of all, say that anyone in this country illegally will be detained and deported. The Tories never did a single one of those things. Labour have absolutely no intention of doing any of those things. So what they try to do is signal intent, signal ambition, and in doing so, squander hundreds of £millions more of British taxpayer money, which could well be used at home.
Can I ask you about the Prime Minister? Should he face an official parliamentary sleaze inquiry over his handling of the Mandelson scandal? And does he need to be referred to the Privileges Committee?
Look, I think obviously those things need to happen, but people watching this programme will be scratching their heads. Can we just be honest about this Starmer-Mandelson situation? Just imagine you are recruiting for a job, any sort of job at all, and a candidate walks through the door and somebody tells you that they are known as, quote, the Prince of Darkness, and that they had to, widely known as the Prince of Darkness, and had to be forced to resign from 2 senior positions that they last had. How much interest would you have in even interviewing such a candidate for that job? And to the degree you did interview them, how much interest would you take in whether they actually passed vetting? So I think a lot of this is now theatre, and I get it, it's intrigue. Clearly Starmer is a liar. Clearly, this narrative that was set up about Starmer by a lot in the media, not GB News, but a lot in the media, that he might be a bit out of his depth and he's a bit procedural, but he's fundamentally a good man. No. This is a fundamentally, I think actually quite evil man, looking at this, looking at the way he treats people, his disdain for British people, his disdain for people who work for him and throwing them under the bus. He talks about taking responsibility. Taking responsibility means actually bearing some consequence yourself for your actions, of which he has done none.
I mean, that's very strong language that you're using, Zia. I mean, look, the problem you've got here is that you need evidence, don't you? I mean, and to say that he has a Privileges Committee, right, would be looking at whether he misled Parliament. You need evidence for that. And where is it that he knowingly misled Parliament? You can question his judgment, and he admitted he made a mistake by looking to appoint Mandelson in the first place. But can you question how much he personally knew? You can criticise him for saying he was too hands-off with all of this, but where's the evidence that, to say he's a liar, which is very, in parliamentary terms, as you know, is very strong language. Yeah. You've got to be able to justify it. You've got to be able to prove it, haven't you?
Look, I just aired my opinion. I think those opinions are shared by millions of people in this country. The polls show he is the most unpopular Prime Minister this country has ever seen, certainly since polling records began. And look, my characterisation of him is driven actually less even by this Mandelson affair, but by his conduct since he became a politician. He punked the Labour membership in order to win the leadership, pretended to be a Corbynista, and then was obviously presented himself as something different. And since coming to power, what has he done? He's gone out of his way to try to jail people for tweets and for things on social media. He's used every possible angle with the Online Safety Act, which of course it was the Tories who signed that into law, again to try to crush political dissent. He's withdrawing jury trials from British people, from many trials for British people, a right that we've had since the Magna Carta. He tried desperately to cancel elections for millions of people. The only reason that many elections are even happening next month is because of our judicial review that was successful, and Nigel's absolute unwillingness to let democracy slide like that. I mean, I could go on. He calls basically anyone who thinks we should have borders far right and racist, including, I think, endangering the safety of our party leader, the MP for Clacton, Nigel Farage. Look, so I could go on. And so my characterization of Keir Starmer is, I think the Mandelson scandal, a scandal as it is of epic proportions, pales in significance to the enormous damage this man has already done to Britain. And the sooner he goes, the better.
Zia, we're almost out of time with you. Of course, the Prime Minister would deny any of those characterisations. He'd say it's his mission to serve the country to the best of his ability. He's very proud of this country, I'm sure he would say as well. I do want to talk to you about your St George's Day education announcement. Happy St George's Day to you, Zia. What do you love most about England? And tell us what you have planned for schools if reform were to form the next government.
Well, what I love about England is it's home, and no matter, I've been quite fortunate to be able to travel to lots of different places. I've lived and worked in America, for example, and other great countries. But when you come back to England, there's something quintessential about this country. I'm a big cricket fan as well. And so, I love playing cricket on Village Green. So there are so many incredible things. But the policy that we announced today is a response to, I think, a very grave situation that I want to draw attention to for your viewers, just because not everyone, I think, is aware of how bad the situation is now in terms of young people's perceptions of their own country here. So, number one, 20 years ago, 80% of young people in this country said that they were proud to be British. That number is less than half today, 40%. Say that they are proud to be British, which means, of course, the majority of young people in this country are no longer proud to be British. Only 1 in 5 young people in this country even have a positive view of Sir Winston Churchill, who was not long ago, of course, crowned as the greatest Brit to ever have lived by the BBC. So we are in a pretty grave situation. We're seeing the curriculum under relentless assault from progressive activists with their, quote, decolonization agenda. Many young people and children are simply being taught, not only are they not being taught the many incredible things Britain has done for the country, but also they're being taught either lies, flat out lies has been widely reported. You can read a report by Policy Exchange from not too long ago, very well sourced, good report. But otherwise, they're just being taught that Britain is fundamentally racist, and to the degree that Britain has had any impact on the world, it has been negative and has been racist. And I think that's a really poisonous ideology to teach children. And so, look, government can't solve all of these problems. A lot of it is also down to parents too. But I think what's going on in schools is a real problem. And so we're announcing today is that schools would fly the Union flag, and they would also have a portrait of His Majesty the King up on the wall. Here's another very scary stat for you. Just a couple of years ago, I'll make this last point.
I hate to do it, Zia, but we really are out of time. But you make it, making schools more patriotic. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Let us know what you think about that idea, whether you agree with it or not. gbnews.com/yoursay.
We'll be back with the papers in just a moment after your European weather.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Friday is set to be dry and sunny across much of Italy. There will be some showers in southern Spain and some heavy showers through some of the Greek islands too, particularly Crete. Sunny spells in the Canaries. There's that wet weather I talked about in southern Spain, also affecting northern Morocco. Should be clearing through during the weekend. Fine and sunny in Italy, a bit of a brisk chilly breeze across the far south. And there are those showers across some of the Greek islands, particularly some heavy ones likely in Crete. Still a few showers here on Saturday. Plenty of sunshine in Dubrovnik.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Tamta, thank you not only for joining us, but for bringing examples of your amazing work, because I think the easiest way for you to describe what you do, because I read that you value things not for how they look, but for the messages they give and the stories that they tell. So tell me about what you do with silk and how you get those stories across.
Well, it's very important, first of all, to say hello.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here again. And what's important for me to mention that I really challenge the status quo of luxury. I really believe that luxury is no longer of owning a product, but what emotional resonance it gives you. And that was the heart of Quintet. With our creations, you have no limits to what you can include in your artworks. Your dreams can truly come true here, so maybe I can show you one of the arts that we had ordered for Paul.
Who is Paul? What does Paul do? I mean, well, Paul clearly plays chess. He flies a lot. Can we see? I don't know if we can actually see this. If we can hold it up.
Yes, sure.
He's got a motorbike. He travels. He likes to drink. And as I say, he plays chess and he travels.
He likes Newcastle United as well. He likes, I think, Art Deco style period. That's why the fonts we chose. He likes red wine, and I think actually the motorbike, it's his dream. So your dreams can truly come true on these pieces. This is actually pocket square bandana, so it can be worn for men, it can be framed. What's beautiful about our creations that we can actually, many people frame them.
Yes.
And there is no monument in the world that we have drawn yet. Everything we have drawn, and every breed of the animal.
GB News, the People's Channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 7:49. We're going through the papers with Norman Baker and Will Kingston this morning. Norman, let's have a look, shall we, at Prince Harry making a surprise trip to Ukraine.
Well, he has, of course, got genuine form when it comes to being with the military from his overseas service, and I think that shouldn't be dismissed or downplayed in any way. And I think it's rather good he's gone to Kiev and supported our troops, not our troops, but the Ukrainian troops over there. What he is doing, of course, as well, is presenting himself as an alternative royal tour, which is what he was doing in Australia as well, to demonstrate perhaps that he's still on the royal circuit, albeit unofficially.
Will, are you impressed with him being down there?
I can almost see our audience raising their eyebrows, through the screen there. You can't have it both ways. You can't one time go to Montecito and, sit on your couch and try and say, I'm not a royal, and at the same time say, I'm going to do the whole Ukrainian royal thing at the same time. I agree with you. It is wonderful that he served his country and he did it with distinction. But this is obviously a way for him to try and repair his image.
Well, he's getting away with it, isn't he?
With the British people.
It's working, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so.
I think 90% of the British public, at the moment, loathe him.
Well, he may do, but I mean, I think he got some pretty good coverage from the visit to Australia, didn't he?
I guess it depends whether you think any publicity is good publicity, I suppose.
All right, well, let's have a look, should we, Will, at the Times, where we can't attract the world's richest to our shores anymore, apart from you, obviously.
No, I wish GB News needs to give me a pay increase. But is that a surprise when you have high taxes, when you have high regulations? The problem with the country at the moment, and this is such a wonderful country, and the reason I'm here is because I love this country dearly, but at the same time, if you have the choice between setting up a company in the US where you've got lower taxes, when you've got an easier way to actually start it, or the UK, you will choose the US. And that is unfortunate, but that's the reality. You need to have low tax, low regulation in order to actually go for growth, which we haven't heard from this government for about 18 months now, certainly.
It's a fair point, Norman, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, there's a balance to be struck. I mean, obviously, low tax is beneficial in terms of attracting business, but it also brings in less money for the Treasury.
Well,
so you have to.
Does it?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, there's a very strong argument to me saying lower taxes actually bring in increased revenue.
Well, I mean, if you did that, then no country would have taxation at all.
Well, no, because then you wouldn't increase the revenue, you wouldn't get a tax take.
No. Stephen, lefties don't understand the Laffer curve, don't even try.
Well...
Norman, let's have a look, shall we, at something entirely different, and that is undrinkable wine.
Yes.
Selling for a fortune.
Yes, it is selling for a fortune. This goes down to the Earl of Strathmore, who put down his glass of Chateau Rothschild 1870, didn't like it very much, and sent 48 magnums of it to Glamis Castle in the catacombs, and it's been resurrected from there. This undrinkable wine, apparently, 2 bottles only from this hoard of wine have been sold at auction for £226,000. So, I mean, first of all, it's undrinkable by all accounts from 1870, but secondly, it's completely undrinkable and worth nothing if you open it and actually drink it.
Which is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Why would someone... I mean, you just have to treat it as an antique, don't you?
Well, you have to buy it and then presumably sell it on, but no one must ever open it.
It's really odd.
This is what makes this country great. Let's never forget that, guys, that you can have earls who are drinking £226,000 bottles of wine and go, not for me.
Yeah.
Is this for
Long
you?
may continue.
Is this for you, Will? A portrait of Rachel Reeves. What do you make of it? Cost us, the taxpayer, £3,000. You've only got 40 seconds.
I can do it in 10. No, it's ridiculous. Again, if she was a good treasurer, a good Chancellor of the Exchequer, I would be very happy to put a painting up, but she is obviously woeful, so it is ridiculous.
She didn't, let's be fair to her, this is not her idea. This is standard idea in Parliament that people who are in positions of authority in Cabinet have, and indeed leading parliamentarians, have their pictures painted. That's what happens, so it's not her fault.
But it's still a lot of money. All right, thanks both. We're going to be talking to the government in just a moment about that new deal with France.
Yeah, but before all of that, here's your weather with Alex.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Largely dry and sunny one again today. Still a bit breezy in places, quite warm inland, but those breezes will bring a chill to some coast. Bit of a misty, murky start over parts of eastern England, and the coast of the North Sea may stay a bit misty for much of the morning, but generally it's dry and it's sunny. Still a bit breezy in the southwest, not quite as gusty as yesterday, but still a noticeable wind here, and a bit of a breeze bringing a cooler feel along the coast of East Anglia and Kent, and generally temperatures on that east coast in the low teens, but inland across parts of Wales and the Midlands, high teens to low 20s likely, and a warmer feel across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland too. So a fine end to a sunny day for much of Scotland. The wind's pretty light here. Where we've got the breeze coming in from the sea, it will be a little bit cooler, but certainly inland feeling pleasant well into the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Northern Ireland. Just a bit of patchy cloud here, and again around the coast might just be a little bit misty. The sea fret should be burning away through the day, but there's always the possibility of a little bit of it lingering around the east coast of England. I mentioned those breezes in the southwest, a touch lighter today compared to yesterday, but still quite noticeable and still there overnight as well. As the breeze feeds in, a bit of mist and low cloud across these eastern parts is likely through the night, so could wake up to a bit of fog tomorrow morning, and likely to be a pretty chilly night across these eastern parts of England. Some pockets of frost certainly likely in rural spots, and quite a few towns and cities not far off freezing to start Friday. So a cold start, a grey start as well, but I think pretty rapidly any mist and low cloud, certainly inland, should tend to clear away. And then look at that. Plenty of sparkling blue sky, lots of sunshine on offer again on Friday. Again, a bit of a breeze in the southwest, but the wind's continuing to ease down through the rest of this week, and certainly inland in that sunshine, feeling pretty warm, getting warmer still into the weekend.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 northbound, there are lane restrictions between junction 13 and junction 12 after a road traffic incident. In Wales, the A470 is blocked in both directions after an overturned vehicle at Migrant, so expect local diversions. Meanwhile, on the M4 westbound around Slough, one lane is closed between junction 4B and junction 5 following a crash, with normal conditions due back around 8:45 this morning. And on the trains, London North Western Railway has reduced service between Bletchley and Bedford, and London Overground is reduced between Dalston Junction and New Cross. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
There's just 2 weeks remaining to grab your chance to win our biggest prize of the year so far. Just in time for summer, you could be driving away with your very own 4-berth camper van. We'll also give you an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash. Lines close on the 1st of May, so make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Good morning. More cash, but is there more chaos as Labour prepares to hand France another fortune to try to stop the boats?
A new 3-year deal includes extra patrols, intelligence teams and riot police on French beaches. But the money will only go, or the additional money will only go, if crossings start to fall.
But with migrants still arriving, critics are asking, why is Britain paying more with so little to show for it?
Sir Keir Starmer fights for his political survival as opposition parties demand a sleaze investigation and Labour MPs publicly call for him to go.
Yes, with Labour MPs now publicly weighing in against the Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition, Kemi Badenoch, calling for the issue to be referred to the Privileges Committee that ended Boris Johnson's career, things aren't looking good for the Prime Minister.
Oh, it's St George's Day, and Sir Keir Starmer says England's flag belongs to decency, not division. Well, we're going to mark today's celebration with a special live performance.
And a very good morning from Washington, D.C., where in the last few moments I've wrapped up an exclusive interview with the US State Department's principal deputy spokesperson. He says whether Donald Trump really has the power to force Iran's hand, what the true endgame is, and whether this was ever about regime change. Catch that interview shortly.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
That's Michael Portillo celebrating Shakespeare Day, which is today, a special day for fans of the Bard to celebrate his life and his work.
Alas, poor Liam Rossigna, I knew him well. 106 days and into a 6.5-year contract and 5 losses in a row. Chelsea have sacked their manager. 200 days at the top of the Premier League, and Arsenal are replaced by Manchester City, who've only spent 6 there so far. And Burnley are the second club to be relegated to the Championship.
It's chilly out there again this morning, but for many it is a cracking day if you like spring sunshine. Still breezy in the southwest, although not as windy as yesterday, and there will be some mist and low cloud across parts of the east. Join me later for our full forecast and a look at today's weather and tomorrow's.
It's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Right, we've got politicians galore this hour, so we're going to crack straight on with our main news, which is the Home Office announcing a new French deal promising a surge in patrols and intelligence operations to stop illegal migrants in northern France.
Yes, £500 million is going to be invested to leverage enforcement action on beaches in northern France. A further £160 million is an investment to be made based off the new tactic's success in stopping illegal migrants.
Well, this will mark the first time ever that funding will be provided conditionally based off results and reducing illegal migration.
Well, GB News Home and Security Editor Mark White has sent this report from Dunkirk.
Well, here near the seafront in Dunkirk are just some of the 700 French police officers who are tasked with patrolling the more than 70 miles of coastline where the migrant boats regularly take off from. But now, of course, this new deal that has been signed by the British and the French to give £662 million to the French will ensure that actually from 700 we're now going to have 1,100 French police officers involved in these patrol duties. Now, the British government are saying that, you know, don't get hung up on this very pricey price tag. Look at what it's buying, not just the additional police officers, but also specialist equipment to help in the fight against people smuggling, a new ship to interdict the migrant taxi boats offshore that come empty to the beaches here in Dunkirk and elsewhere and pick up many of the migrants. So that's going to be part of the process going forward. Clearly, it's controversial, £662 million. Will we see the results of that over the next 3 years? Well, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, is convinced that we will. At least part of that £662 million is linked to the performance of the French police. 162 of that in terms of millions of pounds is linked to that. So if they don't perform, they don't get the most of that extra additional uplift. But we'll see. You know, we're told that 42,000 migrants were stopped by the French since Labour came to power, and that going forward they're expecting even better results from the French police.
Now let's speak to human rights lawyer David Hay. Very good morning to you, David. It's a huge sum of money. Is it going to work?
Hi, good morning to you both. And firstly, happy St. George's Day. I think in short, I don't think so. I think, look, that one of the ways and one of the best ways of resolving this asylum issues is protecting our border, stopping people coming in and being able to control people going out. Those are the very basics that we need to be able to do. Is giving more money to the French going to stop people coming in? And is it going to enable us to get people out that need to leave? I don't think it hasn't done it very successfully in the past, and I don't see that even more money to them will do that. You're essentially, it's more of a displacement exercise than a deterrence. You're just going to push them to other areas. We already saw, I think, a year ago, you know, private boats coming from private ports in France coming into Falmouth, near where I live in Cornwall, with asylum seekers on it. That's not going to stop that. So you'll just displace these. Even if it is successful, it will displace them to other areas, to Belgium, to the Netherlands, other areas in France. So I think, you know, I don't think it might have some small impact, but I don't think it's the fix that we want and need.
It's interesting you talk about the displacement, because we do get figures, and I don't have them off the top of my head, but we do have these figures that we're given saying this is how many people this scheme has, the current scheme has stopped, and it's, I don't know, 30-odd thousand or whatever it may be. Are you saying then that they're not actually stopped, they're just stopped on that occasion?
Well, absolutely, because if a person is determined enough to get to a beach, to come to another country, to pay significant amounts of money and to put their lives at risk, which is what the people coming across the channel are doing, just because they get stopped and pushed back on one occasion doesn't mean they're being arrested and detained and stopped from doing it. It means that they can go to any of the other ports, any of the other beaches, and we're a coastal country. Like I said, in Cornwall, we've seen it, people coming, asylum seekers coming, illegal immigrants coming on boats, coming into small little fishing ports around the coastline. That's not going to stop that. And what that will do, if even this scheme is successful, it's going to push genuine asylum seekers, people that genuinely need our help, into more and more and more dangerous situations.
David, we've had viewers in touch this morning saying not enough is being done to tackle the pull factors that bring people to this country in the first place, and also not enough being done in terms of a deterrent.
I think it's all of those things, and I said, like I said at the beginning, the way to resolve this situation is to protect our border. Is paying a foreign country the best way to do that? Probably not. It's something that we need to do, and we need to do it properly. We also need to be able to have the ability to remove people that are here illegally and that are not genuine asylum seekers. The current laws we have don't enable us to do that. And quite right, Ellie, we need to address the pull factor. Why is it that people will risk their lives crossing many foreign countries, including France, for instance, which is not a dangerous country, to come to England? There is a reason for that. We know what the reason is. We need to address that. And none of those things, I think, have been done. So we'll just see numbers going up. We'll see more and more people going to more and more dangerous situations. And even if the scheme is successful, like I said, they will just push the situation to a different country, to more riskier routes.
OK, David Haig, really good to speak to you this morning. Thank you so much for your analysis.
Right, should we talk to Home Office Minister Alex Norris, who joins us now. Very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on GB News this morning. I don't know how much of that you heard, but I mean, it's a human rights lawyer saying, well, this hasn't worked in the past, so why is it going to work now?
Well, morning, Stephen. Morning, Ellie, and thank you for having me. And I listened very carefully to that. Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. Firstly, the agreement that we're striking today includes a really significant surge in activity. You know, more than 40% in terms of boots on the ground. They're breaking this model up of the small boat crossings. Beyond that, this deal increases the capabilities around interventions at sea, which I know GB News viewers have been very keen to see. Similarly, it increases the capabilities on the beaches to disrupt prior to launch. So these are really big capability increases that sit within our wider plans. You know, the previous interviewee talked about pull factors. They are exceptionally important. We know that Britain is more attractive than the rest of the European Union at the moment, and we know what the traffickers say. They say, come to Britain, live in a hotel, work illegally. Well, we're changing that reality. But the question isn't address pull factors or do this deal. Actually, the answer is both of those things.
So we've got £500 million being sent to the French in terms of this enforcement action that you alluded to there on beaches in northern France. We've then got this further £160 million, and that's being given to the French for these new tactics success in terms of actually stopping migrants. What are the conditions, if you can just clarify for us this morning, what are the conditions for the French to get their hands on that additional £160 million?
Well, I need to be a little bit careful, Ellie, because you know how cynical the traffickers are, and they want to look at some of our tactics and to know what we're going to be doing. You know, that money is for new interventions designed to disrupt, designed to create arrests, designed to stop crossings. You know, there are metrics being developed alongside with the French to ensure their success, and the principle is simple. If those interventions are succeeding, we will carry on. If those interventions aren't succeeding, we will stop.
Right, but in all of this, with those interventions, as you will have heard David Haig talk about, it's displacement. You know, what this isn't doing is the French stopping and then arresting and securing or moving on these people who are trying to cross. It's what is to stop them trying again?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't wholly agree with that in the sense of it is arrests and disruption. You know, nearly 500 smugglers arrested last year, a record year for that, because that breaks the model because that makes it harder for the crossing to take place. Similarly, our work upstream on small boats equipment that I've talked about on the show before, that makes it harder because it means
well,
that
except the numbers are going up. Forgive
to
me.
get across. Well, this is an embedded reality that we are turning round, and it is all of these things. I do accept the principle, as said, suggested by yourself and by David, that we need to address pull factors too. But I would say that's what we're doing. You know, I've again on the show talked about the biggest reforms to our asylum system since the Second World War, including reducing that package of protection that an individual gets, making it clear that you won't be living in a hotel, making it clear you won't be able to work illegally. It's all of these things taken together, along with our work upstream. That's how you break this thing.
But you must therefore be very frustrated as a Home Office Minister dealing with all of this. Then, as you say, you're putting in these deterrents, so you say, you're putting in even more money into France to stop all of this. You're doing the upstream stuff to smash the gangs, and yet the numbers of people crossing here illegally is actually increasing.
But it's frustration wouldn't be the right word, Stephen. There has to be a reality that some of the legislative changes that we've made to make this easier, that we're now starting to see arrests from, well, they only came into force in January. This uplifted activity, well, that's commencing now and this summer. So these things will take time to be felt and to bite. But we're sure that putting all of these things together, they're the right things to do, and that's our job as a government, and that's what we're doing.
It won't be lost on you, Mr. Norris, that you're announcing this just as boats are actually transferring to Belgium. Last weekend, we saw the first big move of crossings from Belgium. 250 boats crossed last Saturday. So what are you going to do about that? Will you be sending 600, 700 million pounds to Belgium next?
Not 250 boats, Ellie. I mean, but the principles are really important.
That's figures from GB News.
Anyway, I work with Belgian counterparts as well. I've been to Belgium to talk to them about the work we can do to get a hold of this early. This is a new and developing model. Again, changed behaviour from the traffickers, which tells us the impact of the work that we're having. So we're working very closely with Belgium to make sure it doesn't get embedded.
Whilst you're dealing with this, what about what's happening in Cabinet and in government at the moment? Because you look at all the papers this morning, and in the wake of the ongoing scandal and the more evidence yet to come over the next couple of weeks, the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, it is reported in a lot of the papers this morning from colleagues of yours, talking in some cases anonymously, it would seem, to reporters, that the Cabinet is imploding. The Cabinet is losing confidence in your Prime Minister.
No, it's just simply not true, Stephen. Look at what we've achieved this month alone. Record falls on NHS waiting lists, increasing the triple lock, putting more money in pensioners' pockets, removing the two-child limit, in my constituency alone, lifting 5,000 children out of poverty. We're driving collectively.
Forgive me, and all of that may be right, but the problem you've got is, amid whatever successes you've got a Prime Minister who has sacked a senior civil servant for saying for alleging. The Prime Minister alleges he made a mistake, an error of judgment in dealing with the Mandelson vetting, whilst the Prime Minister himself admits to an error of judgment in the House on Monday, and yet does not resign. I mean, this is the problem. You've got a Prime Minister who is unravelling, frankly.
Well, I don't recognise that to any degree, and I've talked about that change that is being made. I know the GB News viewers and I know the country are impatient for change. That is the change that's coming forwards with government, with more to come, including the announcement that I'm making today. The Prime Minister has been very clear about his sorrow as to that decision. We would not have made it if we had the information available today that we did then. And what has been laid clear by multiple sessions in Parliament and select committees, that what he said has been exactly how events transpired. His accountability is to Parliament, his accountability ultimately is to the British public, and he's getting on with that job of change with a Cabinet united behind him.
But has he changed? Because 6 years ago, Sir Keir Starmer promised to carry the can for his staff. Since then, he's lost 4 comms directors, 2 chiefs of staff, 2 cabinet secretaries, 1 senior civil servant. He also promised to clean up politics, didn't he? But he's being accused now of jobs for the boys with Matthew Doyle and with Peter Mandelson. He's being accused of cronyism. Has he become the problem that he promised to fix?
No, I don't believe so. You know, we believe, as I know your viewers will as well, that we need to drive up standards in public life. You know, we've made some of those changes already with regards to second jobs. There are more to do. This event has clearly identified weaknesses in the vetting process. We want to drive up standards in public life, and we're making the changes to do so.
But hasn't it, you say it's highlighted weaknesses in the vetting process, hasn't it highlighted weaknesses in the Prime Minister's judgment by wanting to appoint a man and applying pressure to the Foreign Office, as claimed by Sir Ollie Robbins, a man who we knew was, frankly, a little bit dodgy. He'd got a reputation for being the Prince of Darkness, as we know, was known for his association with Epstein. I mean, how many red flags do you want? Why does the Prime Minister insist on that sort of appointment?
Well, ultimately, you know, as I say, we are sorry for that appointment, and if we knew what we knew today, we wouldn't have made it. But the reality is that there was information withheld from the Prime Minister, and that now is a matter of agreement and of records. So, you know, without that full information, a full decision wasn't able to be made, and that's why we're in the situation that we are here.
Do you have 100% faith in the Prime Minister?
Yes.
OK, Alex Norris, thank you very much for joining us this morning on GB News Breakfast.
OK, let's
Short
see.
and sweet there.
Well, yeah, well, look, at least he didn't try and waffle round it. Let's talk to our political correspondent, Olivia Otley-Morning. I mean, towing the party line, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So we've got party loyalists now queuing up behind Keir Starmer to show how they are going to stand by the Prime Minister. Obviously, that is not the whole picture. We had a Labour MP, Jonathan Brash, on GB News yesterday publicly calling for the Prime Minister to go. None have followed yet, but there is whispering in the WhatsApp groups among backbenchers. There's also unrest at a cabinet level. In a cabinet meeting yesterday, Shabana Mahmood apparently muttered something about why was Ollie Robbins sacked if he was such a great civil servant. So there is definitely a lot of annoyance brewing, both among the PLP and at a cabinet level. That is going to be really, really difficult for the Prime Minister to see down, particularly as he is facing another battle, essentially with civil servants. Civil servants are really not happy with the way that Number 10 has treated them. The head of the Civil Service Union has spoken out and said that trust has been eroded. So Keir Starmer's got a big problem there. Then he has another huge problem in the shape of Kemi Badenoch, who seems to be having the time of her life, to be honest. She wants this whole scandal to be referred to the Privileges Committee, so essentially turn it into a sleaze scandal. Now, the Privileges Committee were the people who ended Boris Johnson's career over Partygate, so the Tories are really enjoying using this little procedural trick to try and bring down the Prime Minister. Could the Privileges Committee, could a sleaze scandal, could this turn into a sleaze scandal which could end Keir Starmer's premiership? Well, potentially it could. Kemi Badenoch is basing this around the suggestion that that the Prime Minister was essentially lying in Parliament when he said that all due process was followed. She doesn't believe that's true because Simon Case, who was then the Cabinet Office Secretary, told Keir Starmer that he should wait for the vetting before he hired Peter Mandelson. He didn't do that. Does that mean that he didn't follow due process? Well, that's a really important question, and one which could turn into a very, very big question for Keir Starmer if this is referred to the Privileges Committee. At the moment, Keir Starmer is sort of keeping his allies close to him. Only one Labour MP has publicly called for him to go. But this scandal could run on and on and on. And if it does get to that Privileges Committee level, we know how fast it can finish off a Prime Minister. You'll hear loyalists like that there saying that Keir Starmer has the backing. He won this enormous election majority. Well, Boris Johnson won an enormous election majority back in 2019. And just look what happened to him. Everything can happen very fast once it starts.
OK, Lib, thank you very much.
Right, at 21 minutes past 8 on this St George's Day, let's get a check on the weather for you.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Largely dry and sunny one again today. It's still a bit breezy in places, quite warm inlands, but those breezes will bring a chill to some coast. Bit of a misty, murky start over parts of eastern England, and the coast of the North Sea may stay a bit misty for much of the morning, but generally it's dry and it's sunny. Still a bit breezy in the southwest, not quite as gusty as yesterday, but still a noticeable wind here, and a bit of a breeze bringing a cooler feel along the coast of East Anglia and Kent, and generally temperatures on that east coast in the low teens, but inland across parts of Wales and the Midlands, high teens, low 20s likely, and a warmer feel across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland too. So a fine end to a sunny day for much of Scotland. The wind's pretty light here. Where we've got the breeze coming in from the sea, it will be a little bit cooler, but certainly inland feeling pleasant well into the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Northern Ireland. Just a bit of patchy cloud here, and again around the coast might just be a little bit misty. The sea fret should be burning away through the day, but there's always the possibility of a little bit of it lingering around the east coast of England. I mentioned those breezes in the southwest, a touch lighter today compared to yesterday, but still quite noticeable and still there overnight as well. As the breeze feeds in, a bit of mist and low cloud across these eastern parts is likely through the night, so could wake up to a bit of fog tomorrow morning, and likely to be a pretty chilly night across these eastern parts of England. Some pockets of frost certainly likely in rural spots, and quite a few towns and cities not far off freezing to start Friday. So a cold start, a grey start as well, but I think pretty rapidly any mist and low cloud, certainly inland, should tend to clear away. And then look at that. Plenty of sparkling blue sky, lots of sunshine on offer again on Friday. Again, a bit of a breeze in the southwest, but the wind's continuing to ease down through the rest of this week, and certainly inland in that sunshine, feeling pretty warm, getting warmer still into the weekend.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, we're going to be speaking to the Lib Dems about what they say is mortgage misery amid the war with Iran.
But first, as it's St George's Day, we've got a very exciting studio performance for you coming up, so don't go anywhere.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
I'm Michael Costello. This is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
MUQ is so hilarious. It's rude. It's basically Sesame Street, yes. X-rated. But I always bang on. The interesting about the last thing is I'm always like, make me laugh and I will cry. Make me laugh and I will care. Did not apply to Cuckoo's Nest. However, Avenue Q, we've got a little jolly clip here for you to see.
What's it like living on Avenue Q?
You're gonna love it! Oh!
I remember seeing the original production, and shall I be absolutely honest with you, when you came in, because I've never seen you before, I thought, he's brought one of the puppets with him, because all I could see was this little fluffy black head. He is adorable, I have to say.
He's being very good today.
He is.
So yeah, Avenue Q is a burst of joy. There is also, you only got to look for, there's actual puppet sex, and I think I'm quite jaded, and I think I've seen it all, but really, my jaw dropped. It's fun. The people that created it, one of the guys, Robert Lopez, wrote Frozen, wrote one of my favourite shows, Little Shop of Horrors. So he knows how to write quick, fun musicals, but it's also got huge heart. It's about all of us searching for belonging. Who are we? They all discover life is not easy when you get out into the real world. But they build a community, and it's inclusive and wonderful, and I love it very, very much. And it's on at the Shaftesbury Theatre. It's the 20th anniversary production.
Well,
That's
it's nice
glorious.
to end on a positive note, something that we should all go and see. And have a good laugh. We need good laughs at the moment.
We certainly do.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos. What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak. Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 8:27. Today is St George's Day. Of course, we're celebrating England's patron saint.
Well, St George, immortalised, of course, in the tale of St George and the Dragon, is a martyr and a symbol of community cohesion, making him the ideal patron and legend for modern Britain since 1348.
Well, to mark the special occasion, we have got a treat for you today, a special St George's Day performance from classical singer Carly Powley. Take it away, Carly.
And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains green? And was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pasture seen? I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword slip in my hand, till behind me Jerusalem on England's green and
Marvellous.
Oh, Carly, you are just absolutely fabulous. I have got goosebumps from listening to that. It's
You
one of
have,
my
actually.
favourite hymns, Jerusalem. Thank you, Carly. Wow.
Lovely
Takes
stuff,
your breath
isn't it?
away, doesn't it?
It does, it does, it does.
Yeah, really, really moving. Carly, come on over and sit and chat with us. We love having you in on such special days like this one. And what does that song mean to you specifically? Because we spoke about this last time you were in, and we said Jerusalem on St George's Day is just perfect.
I mean, it's one of those songs that it never fails to move you.
Yeah.
Composed by Parry, beautiful words by William Blake. It's an absolute classic and a privilege to sing.
It's lovely because I don't know what it is about it. It's so stirring. It does get you every time, doesn't it?
Thought-provoking. I think it really paints a picture. So, yeah, it's a special piece to be able to perform, and what a day to sing it as well.
Do you find it very moving to perform as well? You must have to push past that emotion.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a real stillness about that song as well. When you sing, I always use lots of imagery, you know, to be able to help drive the performance, and you kind of feel like you're marching over the green hills together. It's one of those joyous, unifying, powerful pieces, and I think it will, as it's already proven, stand the test of time, of course. Great music does.
It will indeed. Carly, we look forward to seeing you in the next hour as well, so that'll be exciting.
Yes, what are you performing for us?
I'm performing my own interpretation of the Beatles' classic Golden Slumbers.
Oh.
So very different.
Very different, but very nice and very British.
Very British. We're looking forward to it, Carly.
Thank you very much.
Right, just time for the Great British Giveaway now. There's just over a week to take part. It's our biggest prize of the year so far, that incredible camper van, plus 25 grand in tax-free cash.
Yeah, make sure you don't miss out. Here are all of the details that you need.
There's just 2 weeks remaining to grab your chance to win our biggest prize of the year so far. Just in time for summer, you could be driving away with your very own 4-berth camper van. This Benny Van 122 could give you the perfect getaway this year, as it comes complete with all of the features you'd expect of a vehicle worth over £67,000. A built-in kitchen and bathroom, dedicated living areas, and panoramic opening rear doors. Plus, you can drive it on your existing license. We'll also give you an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash. Lines close on the 1st of May, so make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes are closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Oh, best of luck. It's a cracking prize. But if you are getting in a vehicle this morning, whether it's a camper van or not, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the A9 northbound, the off-slip to the A85 Creef Road is restricted after a broken-down vehicle. On the M1 northbound in Leicestershire, between junction 21 and junction 22, a road traffic collision has shut 2 of 4 lanes. On the A27 eastbound at Brighton, between the A23 and the A277, there is slow-moving congestion with delays of around 15 minutes. And on the trains, London North Western Railway has reduced services between Bletchley and Bedford, and London Overground between Dalston Junction and New Cross. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 8:33. Let's get straight back into politics, shall we, and speak to the Liberal Democrats. Business spokesperson this morning, Sarah Olney. Very good morning to you, Sarah. Can we start with the Mandelson scandal, please? Because the Lib Dems have been so vocal, haven't they, calling for the PM to be referred to the Privileges Committee. Do you also think he should face now an official parliamentary sleaze inquiry over his handling of the Mandelson scandal?
Well, good morning. I think what's going on here is that more and more information is emerging as officials are quizzed. We heard from Ollie Robbins on Tuesday. Kat Little is appearing before the Foreign Affairs Select Committee later this morning. More and more information is being revealed. Particularly, I think, interesting on Tuesday to hear about Matthew Doyle and the request for an ambassadorship for him. Obviously wait and see what happens later on. But we very much want to see the Prime Minister referred to the Privileges Committee, and I think it then remains to be seen whether a sleaze inquiry, as you say, is then something that should take place.
The Privileges Committee, though, is a serious matter. It's what did it for Boris Johnson when he was Prime Minister. What is the basis for referring it to the Privileges?
So I think there remains this question to be answered about whether or not the Prime Minister misled Parliament or not, and I think that deserves serious inquiry. But as I say, we also would like to find out more about exactly what happened between the Prime Minister's office and the Foreign Office, particularly around Matthew Doyle. We know now, of course, that he was an associate of a sex offender, but is still given a peerage. I think there are more questions for the Prime Minister's office to answer around that.
Are you supportive, are the Lib Dems supportive of this new £662 million deal with the French? Do you consider it to be value for money, and do you think it will work?
So I think we obviously welcome the fact that there is progress in stopping the small boats, because this is something obviously that is a huge issue both for voters and for local communities up and down the country. So this is something we very much welcome in terms of seeing progress. But what we really want to see is a much more sort of long-term approach by the Home Office. We need to be negotiating returns agreements with those countries that asylum seekers have come from, so that if they fail their asylum application, they can be returned. I think that's what the British public want to see most of all.
Right. You've released a press release this morning. It's all about mortgage misery, and it's we could end up paying thousands of pounds more on our mortgage because of what's happening in the economy on a global scale. And you say it's all triggered by Trump and the inflationary war in Iran. And you may very well be right. I mean, obviously, it has had a stark impact on global economics. But you're calling it Trumpflation. I just wonder what your tactic is with this. We don't vote for Trump. We have, it's nothing to do with us. It's another country, but it affects the global economy. So why campaign on Trump? Shouldn't you be campaigning on stuff that is actually closer to home, stuff we have a say on?
We absolutely are campaigning on stuff that's closer to home. What we're saying is that we've seen yesterday inflation going up. We know that that's driven by increased oil prices as a result of Trump's idiotic war in Iran, which the Liberal Democrats have said right from the start that Britain should not be involved in, unlike other parties, unlike the Conservatives, unlike Reform, who were keen at the start for us to get involved. But we absolutely are campaigning on the cost of living crisis that this is causing for so many people up and down the country. So the figures that we're releasing today are showing how much interest rates on mortgage products have jumped since the end of February when this war began, and what that means for households up and down the country who are wanting to take out a mortgage. In some places it's going to cost them £3,000 a year more than if they had taken out that mortgage at the beginning of the year. And what the Liberal Democrats are calling for is for this government that we vote for, to take action to bring down the cost of living for families up and down the country. We want to see an immediate reduction to fuel duty, cut 10p off fuel duty, which will result in a 12p cut in the cost of a litre of fuel, and also see cuts to the cost of travelling on public transport as well. And we think that will really ease this cost of living crisis that so many families are experiencing up and down the country at this very moment.
OK, Sarah Olney, we're out of time with you, I'm afraid, this morning, but thank you so much for joining us on GB News Breakfast.
Thank you.
It's interesting, but I can see why they do it, but I just wonder if it's clickbait a little bit. You can blame Trump for whatever you want, and some of you may support Donald Trump and some of you may really not support Donald Trump. And whatever he does, there are consequences, of course there are, but what can we do about it?
Yeah, well,
absolutely nothing.
That's the question, isn't it? Yeah.
It's all about how we mitigate whatever global situation arises.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to be going through all of the top stories of the day in the papers with Will Kingston and Norman Baker. That's up next.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice
first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong Tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
8:42 in the front pages this morning. The Express has, here's another 660 million quid to stop the boats. That's that new deal that we're paying France.
The Independent leads with the PM fired Robbins before he could defend himself amid the fallout from the Mandelson betting row.
The Mirror has Knox's letter to Letby after Amanda Knox apparently wrote to Lucy Letby amid claims she's innocent.
And finally, the Metro goes with work-shy Brits. Not this pair, highlighting one great-gran who's still in full-time nursing at age 80.
Good on her. Right, let's see what's in the papers in a bit more detail with former Lib Dem Minister Norman Baker and GB News contributor Will Kingston. Morning to you both. Let's start with Rachel Reeves in the Express. Urged to extend the fuel duty status quo, if you like.
Well, when you don't literally have anything that you can cut costs on, then you literally have to find these things. I think she's incompetent, but I think she's got a very tough job because she has literally no levers to pull. Like, well, what can she do when literally the only thing she can do is just keep raising taxes?
Well, she's got no money, and the danger is, of course, if you don't raise taxes, you end up with a bigger deficit. Then the markets lose confidence in what the government's doing, and then that brings its own problems. If you look at the amount of expenditure the government has, one of the three big areas: welfare, NHS, and debt repayment. Debt repayments are now enormous in this country.
Terrifyingly so. What about cuts? What about, you know, levies on green levies, carbon taxes, all that sort of thing?
But this is the thing. Labor assumes there's only one part of the balance sheet. There's not. You can drop costs in terms of reducing spending, but the problem is that when they try to do that, the backbench revolts and therefore they back off. Like, we need to reduce how much we are paying for things in this country. At the moment, the government doesn't have any appetite to do it.
No, there's a real problem with welfare, I have to say, and that's where the big cuts can be made. There's no point trying to cut the Foreign Office or cut the DCMS. The budgets are tiny. To make a difference, you've got to deal with the welfare budget.
Yeah.
All right, well, you two do stay with us. We're going to have more papers after we take a look at the European weather.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Friday is set to be dry and sunny across much of Italy. There will be some showers in southern Spain and some heavy showers through some of the Greek islands too, particularly Crete. Sunny spells in the Canaries. There's that wet weather I talked about in southern Spain, also affecting northern Morocco. Should be clearing through during the weekend. Fine and sunny in Italy, a bit of a brisk chilly breeze across the far south. And there are those showers across some of the Greek islands, particularly some heavy ones likely in Crete. Still a few showers here on Saturday. Plenty of sunshine in Dubrovnik.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
I have
a feeling that an awful lot of people are going to be quite shocked, as I was, reading the first chapter, where you describe so vividly that moment you were playing when your arm, your body, basically gave up on you, and you say in the book where you suddenly realised you were unemployed. You could not play the cello anymore.
The thing is, it was just after 10 minutes of a concert started, a 2-hour concert, and I just suddenly lost the power in my bowing arm. So it was like a humiliating and frightening moment. I just couldn't, and the audience there, and, you know, I felt I couldn't hold the bow, and it's just so embarrassing and just horrible. And I'd never known anything like it. I didn't know what was wrong. I knew it was bad. You know your body. And, OK, I called my wife in the interval of the concert, and, you know, I'd been working really hard, and she said, oh, you've probably been over practice. But I knew it was more than that. And the next day I had tests on my arm, and things weren't working, and there were no reactions to things. So I had an MRI scan on my neck, and they said there's a nerve that's trapped and is being pressed on by a herniated disc. So I could have had an operation. One surgeon out of 3 agreed to do it, but they said it was very, very risky, and it might not work. So it's not an attractive option.
But that's how you start the book.
Yes.
I mean, hearing you talk about it now, I do wonder, is that a moment that continues to haunt you? As a musician,
I think I've blanked that out of my mind. That actually, so, I mean, now you mention it.
Sorry, but it's there in the book.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just a horrible year.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Right, we went through the papers with Norman and Will. Right, who wants to talk about renting a room in a house? It's in the Sun this morning, and the advertisement is very interesting.
Go on, Norman.
Are you just the one about the dog sitter you want to look at?
No. This is the tenant in bed.
The tenant in bed. Yes, this is an estate agent's got a novel way of approaching property sales by listing a house for sale, £145,000, and the way they've advertised is by having a photograph of a tenant lying in bed, which I wouldn't have thought was particularly good at trying to encourage people to buy the property.
It's very odd. Could they not get them out when they were taking the pictures?
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they didn't realise it was there. Why take a photograph of a bed anyway?
Has the property sold? Do we know?
We don't know that yet, but I imagine it hasn't.
When we were looking to rent, when I was at university, as a group of girls, we were on a website, and clearly they couldn't get other students out of the property in order to photograph the property, so that would be pretty standard. We just had people lounging around.
My favourite estate agent photograph is a lovely house down in Kent, in Dun's Nest, which looked really nice, but what they've done is crop out the nuclear power station next door to the house.
Oh, no.
It has never been harder to actually try and find a place to rent in London, or indeed across England at the moment. It is very, very difficult.
Yeah, it is. Well, there's a lot of landlords selling up because you just can't afford things at the minute. As an Aussie, are you a lobster fan?
Always. Where are we going with this?
Can you chuck it on a barbie, can you? I don't know.
You can. Wasn't there about 6 months ago, didn't the government make their big thing, lobster rights? Didn't they say that...
I don't know.
Stalin was, like, grasping for things to try and hang on to, and he went, growth is not working, cost of living isn't working. I remember that they said that lobster rights was the thing they were trying to grasp onto.
Maybe.
So where are we now with lobsters?
So now that apparently 1 in 10 of us... 1 in 10 of us are feeding our pets lobster.
I can't believe that.
I mean, really?
Oh, I can.
1 in 10 feeding lobster?
Yeah.
It's not sachets that happen to claim to have bits of lobster in it, is it? I mean, I can't... You wouldn't buy a lobster and give it to
pedigree
you.
lobster? I can't see that happening.
Well, I buy stuff for the cat that reckons it's got shrimp in it, but it's tiny little bits of shrimp. I mean,
it actually kind of makes me proud to be in this country, that, you know, that we have kind of pets in this country that are eating off lobster.
And producing better than some people. I think we should ask the viewers to tell us whether they're feeding their dogs lobsters.
I know plenty of people that will just give their dog whatever they're having for dinner. They just make up
Well,
a small little bowl.
How many people do you know having lobster?
Not many. Not many, but I wouldn't put it past people. People love their pets and spend whatever they like on it.
I don't know.
So, yeah, let us know if that's you, if you're giving lobster to your pet. Talking of pets, Norman.
Yes.
60 grand. The family is offering to be a dog sitter.
Absolutely, and it's been oversubscribed. So oversubscribed, they've cancelled the advert because there have been so many people applying. This is a wealthy family in Surrey offering £60,000 salary for a live-in dog sitter on their private estate. And the duties...
They'd have to be wealthy because they've clearly got no idea what you can pay a normal person for a job.
And they've also got to be, quote, guardian of the home when the family's away.
What does that mean, though?
It means you sit round there and feed the dog and make sure the burglars don't arrive.
Help yourself to the gin.
Yeah. This is where, coming from the colonies, I am, culturally inept in terms of these sorts of things. I can't imagine that sort of job.
60,000 is quite a lot of money for that.
Job.
It sounds like a wonderful job.
To be in a lovely house with a dog.
It's not even dog walker, it's dog sitter.
Dog sitter.
Wouldn't even
They need to outsource the next job for the dog sitter.
Would you fancy it?
I'm available. I'll put my hand up for that particular role.
I mean, you could still do it and do all the jobs on the sea. Still come in here in the evening.
You have to do it remote from Surrey, though, wouldn't you? Because they want you to be in the house.
That's all right. You can drive up.
You know about Zoom from Surrey.
Just madness.
Can we talk about St George's Day, which is, of course, today? The two of you, Will, what's your favourite thing about England?
I chose to live here, and I think we can get a bit grim and bleak about where the country is at the moment, but this is still the country I choose to live in. It's the country I love more than any other in the world. I love the history from Athelstan. Before that, I love being in a pub on a Sunday afternoon having a pint. I love the fact that there is the same cultural heritage between Australia and the UK. I feel incredibly grateful that I'm in this country, and I feel incredibly lucky. And I think at times when we are worrying about some of the meta issues in this country, we need to remember that this was the greatest country that the world had ever seen, and I think it can be again.
Norman?
Well, I love the humour, actually, which we have in this country. I miss it when I'm abroad, and you go and you have jokes with people who don't understand them, really, and they're very two-dimensional in their humour, and we're not. And, things like the understated humour, which there is, people don't always get. Also, the humour in Private Eye, for example, which is a great magazine, I think, is fantastic.
Yeah,
but
we do satire better than anybody else.
We do satire, but people don't always understand it, actually.
Americans don't get irony. It's one of those cliches that holds true.
They don't. And actually, I remember the complaint I had most ever about a leaflet I put out as a Lib Dem many years ago, because I used humour and people didn't like it. And I put on a little box, did you know Tony Blair MP is an anagram of I'm Tory Plan B? And there was complaints about this. Yeah, did you?
I believe that.
You're out of time.
Oh, no, I haven't mentioned Paul McCartney in the
The best of England right there. Norman, Will, thank you very much indeed. We're out of time.
Right, let's have a look at the weather for you now.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Largely dry and sunny one again today. Still a bit breezy in places, quite warm inlands, but those breezes will bring a chill to some coast. Bit of a misty, murky start over parts of eastern England, and the coast of the North Sea may stay a bit misty for much of the morning, but generally it's dry and it's sunny. Still a bit breezy in the southwest, not quite as gusty as yesterday, but still a noticeable wind here, and a bit of a breeze bringing a cooler feel along the coast of East Anglia and Kent, and generally temperatures on that east coast in the low teens, but inlands across parts of Wales and the Midlands, high teens, low 20s likely, and a warmer feel across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland too. So a fine end to a sunny day for much of Scotland. The wind's pretty light here. Where we've got the breeze coming in from the sea, it will be a little bit cooler, but certainly inland feeling pleasant well into the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Northern Ireland. Just a bit of patchy cloud here, and again around the coast might just be a little bit misty. The sea fret should be burning away through the day, but there's always the possibility of a little bit of it lingering around the east coast of England. I mentioned those breezes in the southwest, a touch lighter today compared to yesterday, but still quite noticeable and still there overnight as well. As the breeze feeds in, a bit of mist and low cloud across these eastern parts is likely through the night, so could wake up to a bit of fog tomorrow morning, and likely to be a pretty chilly night across these eastern parts of England. Some pockets of frost certainly likely in rural spots, and and quite a few towns and cities not far off freezing to start Friday. So a cold start, a grey start as well, but I think pretty rapidly any mist and low clouds, certainly inland, should tend to clear away. And then, look at that. Plenty of sparkling blue sky, lots of sunshine on offer again on Friday. Again, a bit of a breeze in the southwest, but the wind's continuing to ease down through the rest of this week. And certainly inland, in that sunshine, feeling pretty warm, getting warmer still into the weekend.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M74 northbound Junction 1A off-slip is restricted due to a broken-down vehicle. In North Yorkshire, the A19 southbound entry slip from the A684 has lane closures for another breakdown, clearing after 9:12 this morning. In Leicestershire, the M1 northbound between Junction 21 and Junction 22 has a crash shutting 2 lanes, easing after 10:35. The A1 southbound near the A43 and A47 faces delays after an incident. And on the trains, services are reduced between Bletchley and Bedford, and Dalston Junction and New Cross. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
There's just 2 weeks remaining to grab your chance to win our biggest prize of the year so far. You could be driving away with your very own 4-berth camper van. This Benny Van 122 could give you the perfect getaway this year. We'll also give you an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash. Lines close on the 1st of May, so make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. More cash, but perhaps more chaos as Labour prepares to hand France another fortune to try to stop the boats.
A new 3-year deal includes extra patrols, intelligence teams and riot police on French beaches, but only if crossings start to fall.
Well, with migrants still arriving, critics are saying, why is Britain paying more with so little to show for it?
Elsewhere today, the Prime Minister fights for political survival as opposition parties demand a sleaze probe investigation and Labour MPs publicly call for him to go. Some loyalists are still backing his corner, though.
We are sorry for that appointment, and if we knew what we knew today, we wouldn't have made it. But the reality is that there was information withheld from the Prime Minister.
Yes, with Labour MPs now calling on Keir Starmer to go and the leader of the opposition trying to push through a sleaze inquiry. Could these really be the dying days of Keir Starmer's premiership? Find out more with me very soon.
It's St George's Day today, and the Prime Minister says England's flag belongs to decency, not division. Well, we are going to mark today's celebration with another special live performance.
That's right, we've come to St George's Church here in Gravesend. Where else? Where in just a moment's time throughout the morning we'll have school children, local residents as well, celebrating what it means to be English.
It's chilly out there again this morning, but for many it is a cracking day if you like spring sunshine. Still breezy in the southwest, although not as windy as yesterday, and there will be some mist and low cloud across parts of the east. Join me later for our full forecast and a look at today's weather and tomorrow's.
It's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Right, let's kick straight off with the politics this morning. There's an awful lot to get through today, and the Home Office is going to unveil a £662 million three-year deal with France, aimed at cracking down on small boat crossings, boosting patrols and boosting intelligence sharing.
Well, the UK will commit £500 million to strengthen enforcement on French beaches, with a further £160 million released if the new approach actually reduces crossings.
Ministers say it is the first time funding has been directly tied to results in tackling illegal migration.
Well, let's cross live to Shadow Chancellor Sir Mel Stride to get some reaction to this. Very good morning to you, Sir Mel. What do you make of this new deal with the French? It's a huge sum of money, £662 million in total. Is it good value for money, and do you have faith that it will actually stop the small boat crossings?
Well, good morning. Well, of course, it remains to be seen. But, you know, if the past is any guide to the future, then no, I don't have much confidence. We've just had just 600 new illegal migrants coming across the Channel in just the last week alone. I listened to Alex Norris, the Immigration Minister, out on the airwaves this morning, unable to answer a fundamental question, which is what are your targets for cutting the numbers coming across? And if you've got an arrangement in place, as you've been saying, where it's conditional on performance as to how much the French get paid, and yet you can't tell us how much you're expecting to get the numbers down by, then that seems to me to be an inherent flaw entirely within the system. The answer to all this is deterrence. If people come to our country illegally, they need to be removed. We've said as a party we will step out of the European Convention of Human Rights, which will allow us to do that effectively. That is the heart of the policy that's required, and that's something that this government has done.
Is that an acceptance then? Because this is a Tory policy that is being renewed. You know, this three-year term has ended, and so that was put in place by the Conservative government. Is that an acknowledgement then that it hasn't worked? That actually that was the wrong policy to push?
Well, the policy that we were, of course, enacting at the time of the last general election was the Rwanda arrangements, whereby exactly what I've described would have happened. People would have come here, they'd have been put on a flight and sent to a safe third country. We know that that deterrence works because at the time that that policy went through Parliament before the last election, we saw lots of illegal migrants moving from Northern Ireland into Ireland to get out of our jurisdiction. We saw less people coming across the Channel at that time. They were just waiting actually for a Labour government to come in to make it easier for them. And we know with the Albania arrangements, which were returning illegal migrants from Albania, that dropped the number of people coming to the UK illegally by 93%.
Well, yes,
in
but
the
you
case
also
of Albania. So we know deterrence works.
Yes, but you enacted a scheme that cost us £500 million that we paid France. But has that worked? You spent £500 million of our money. Was it money well spent?
So, Stephen, what I'm saying is you can spend money with the French, you can argue about whether it's money well spent or not, and it will have some impact in stopping people coming across. But the root of the problem is this point about deterrence. And we did have the Rwanda arrangement stacked up. We put it through Parliament. We had flights ready to leave on the 23rd of July, which of course ended up being after the last general election, which we lost. So we never implemented the policy. But that has to be at the heart of an effective policy to get on top of this problem, and within that you have to step out of the European Convention of Human Rights in order to enact it, and that's something this government does not have the backbone to do, I'm afraid.
Can we talk about the Prime Minister? Because there's reports in many of the papers today that Cabinet is now turning on Sir Keir Starmer over his handling of the Mandelson saga and his treatment of Sir Ollie Robbins. They're concerned about this growing rift between ministers and civil servants. The Tories are calling for the Prime Minister to face an official parliamentary sleaze inquiry over the handling of the Mandelson scandal. Tell us more about your plans.
Yeah, look, what you've seen with the Prime Minister is somebody who's had absolutely no judgment when it's come to Peter Mandelson. He knew he'd been fired a couple of times in the past for inappropriate behaviour. Prime Minister knew about his association with a convicted paedophile, Epstein. And what we've seen more recently is information that tells us that he was appointed before the results of the vetting process were actually known. And we know from the testimony from Ollie Robbins, the former head of the civil service at the Foreign Office, in testimony he gave to Parliament on Tuesday, that a lot of pressure was applied from Number 10 to the Foreign Office to just get on with this appointment. It's been a complete calamity. And our belief is that the Prime Minister has misled Parliament, because what he said in Parliament is that that pressure was not applied, yet he's been contradicted by Ollie Robbins, and on that basis I think there is a very strong case now for an inquiry to be led by the Privileges Committee. That will ultimately be a decision for Parliament to take by way of a vote, but if Labour MPs have got any backbone here, they need to row in and make that happen.
But am I right in thinking if you're going to put this to the Privileges Committee, you need to be looking at knowingly misled, don't you? And is there any indication that he has knowingly misled?
Well, I would say that the evidence that Ollie Robbins gave on Tuesday, in which he made it very clear that substantial pressure was applied by Number 10 on the Foreign Office to get this appointment sorted. There have been suggestions of some fairly fruity language even in the, the robust nature of that pressure that was applied. And I think under those circumstances it does seem to me that the Prime Minister should not be standing up in the House of Commons reassuring members of Parliament that full process has been followed. I don't think that that stacks up. But look, we need to get to the bottom of all of these things, and the best route for doing that is an inquiry, and if Parliament so decides, then the Privileges Committee would be the right vehicle for exactly that.
OK, Sir Mel Stride, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Right, let's get some analysis from our political correspondent, Olivia Utley. And what strikes me from all of this, and perhaps he's making some very, very good points there, right? I mean, all the opposition parties seem to agree on all of that. It's murky and it's complicated and it's like a tangled web of how you work all this out.
Well, it absolutely is. And the question of whether the Prime Minister misled Parliament, whether he knowingly misled Parliament, is going to be quite a difficult one to prove. On the issue of whether he knew about the vetting failure, it seems clear that he didn't. But there are two issues which Mel Stride referred to there, which could end up in a sleaze scandal, which could bring down Keir Starmer's career. One is this idea that was due process followed, in that Simon Case, who was the Cabinet Secretary at the time, recommended that Keir Starmer wait for the vetting to come through before announcing Mandelson's appointment. Keir Starmer didn't do that. Is that not following of advice akin to not following due process? And if that's the case, well, Keir Starmer stood up and said that due process was followed. The other issue is perhaps more important. Ollie Robbins said very, very clearly when he appeared in front of the Select Committee on Tuesday that pressure was constantly applied. And he says, as Mel Stride said there was some fruity language, which I won't repeat now, that was said to Ollie Robbins from Number 10 in trying to get this Mandelson appointment over the line.
But crucially, the issue with that is partly, isn't it, that was from the Number 10 private office, which implies civil servant. So it's civil servant to civil servant. Now, the question is, which he didn't answer, though he implied, is whether there was political pressure onto those civil servants in the Number 10 private office.
Well, that's a very good question. We do have this message, which Tim Shipman has revealed in The Spectator, that Keir Starmer allegedly sent to Peter Mandelson, and there is apparently evidence of this, saying that he was looking forward to working with him. And you would expect that pressure to have come from the Prime Minister if indeed there was pressure at all. If it can be proved that Keir Starmer was lying when he said that no pressure was exerted, if it can be proved that Ollie Robbins' case was accurate, then that could be a serious issue for the Prime Minister. Would Labour MPs end up voting in favour of a Privileges Committee investigation into the Prime Minister? Well, Keir Starmer does have a big majority, but as I say, Boris Johnson had a big majority back in 2019, and look how things ended for him.
Olivia, thank you very much.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave.
Tangled web, indeed.
Is that Shakespeare?
It may be.
I think it might be Shakespeare, I don't know. Anyway, because it is Shakespeare Day,
Google it.
by the way.
And St George's Day. Happy St George's Day.
While you Google that, let me tell you about the biggest giveaway of the year so far. 25 grand in tax-free cash and a brand new full berth camper van, which could all be yours. You've got just over a week to go.
Sir Walter Scott, sorry.
Oh.
But close.
Never mind. Here's how you enter the competition.
There's just 2 weeks remaining to grab your chance to win our biggest prize of the year so far. Just in time for summer, you could be driving away with your very own 4-berth camper van. This Benny Van 122 could give you the perfect getaway this year, as it comes complete with all of the features you'd expect of a vehicle worth over £67,000. A built-in kitchen and bathroom, dedicated living areas, and panoramic opening rear doors. Plus, you can drive it on your existing license. We'll also give you an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash. Lines close on the 1st of May, so make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes have closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now, do stay with us still to come. It is, of course, St George's Day. Happy St George's Day to you. We have got another special performance for you, so make sure you stay tuned for that. This is GB News Breakfast.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Do you trust what you're being told?
Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow. You think we can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It is, of course, St George's Day. We are celebrating England's patron saint.
Yeah, immortalised, of course, for many in that tale of George and the Dragon. He was a Christian martyr and also a symbol of community cohesion. It makes him an ideal patron and a legend for us here in England since 1348.
Well, let's cross live now to GB News presenter Tom Harwood, who joins us live from the Gravesend Parade, honouring St George today. Very good morning to you, Tom, and happy St George's Day.
A very happy St George's Day to you too. Yes, the preparations are underway for the parade. It will be a little bit later this morning, but my goodness me, there'll be lots and lots of school children, their parents, other people from the local area here celebrating not just St George, not just their local area, but what it means to be English too. So why don't we go over and speak to one of the organisers here. Delighted to be joined by Govinda Sander. Govinda, you started this parade 20 years ago. Why did you do it?
For me, we should be celebrating St George's Day, and it's a great way for children and the communities to come together, you know, on April the 23rd.
Now, of course, we were having a little bit of a chat earlier, and you were saying that there wasn't much of a celebration in decades past, that this day sort of came and went, but you felt that it needed to be marked.
It certainly did. So, you know, through the work that we do as Cohesion Plus, we organise events, Vaisakhi, Eid, Diwali, and people to say there's nothing for St George's Day. So people moaned and moaned for years and years, and I thought, you know what, no one else can do it, I'll do it myself.
And this has grown over the course of the last 2 decades. Now there are lots of school children who come, their parents, also people from the town, just to get involved in what it all means.
They certainly do. So like today, we've been working with 23 schools in the build-up. It isn't just about today. We've been working for months and months. So not only local schools, local faith organisations, local community organisations, everyone comes together. And that's what it's about, celebrating England, celebrating St George's Day in the context of 2026.
And of course, we're standing here just outside St George's Church, which is a marvellous church, but also a very historic one. I mean, it's not quite a lot to do with St George's Day, but I can't help but notice we're standing right next to the grave of Pocahontas. I mean, there is so much history here in Gravesend.
There certainly is. So Pocahontas is, you know, a real big tourist attraction, and, you know, I think it's quite apt that we start at St George's Church, you know, St George's Day, St George's Church, and obviously the burial place for Princess Pocahontas.
Absolutely. No, this is fantastic. It's just about, at what point are we going to start to see all of these schools, all of these children start to celebrate? I know we're starting the setup here, but when is the big festivity?
So children start arriving about 10 o'clock, 10:30, the parade starts, and we'll be going through the town centre, brass bands, fire-breathing, dragons, St George himself. It's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely, and we're going to be covering it all here on GB News, so it's not one to miss. I'll hand back to you now, but my goodness me, what a day we have ahead of us.
That's going to be fantastic, Tom. I've been to that event before, and all the school children just love it, so you're going to have a wonderful day. Enjoy it.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Now, back here in the studio, we want to treat you to a little bit of style, class, in terms of Kylie Powley, who's back in the studio. This time she's going to perform Golden Slumbers in honour of St George's Day.
Once there was a way to get back homeward. Once there was a way to get back home. Sleep, pretty darling, don't you cry. And I will sing you a lullaby. when you rise. Sleep, pretty darling, don't you cry. And I will sing you a lullaby. Once there was a way to get back home.
Lovely.
Carly, that's Carly's
Brilliant.
special rendition, her own version of Golden Slumbers, the Beatles classic.
Beautiful. Right. Away from all that beauty and calm and tranquility to the chaos which is Britain's newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Miriam Cates. Good morning, you two.
Good morning.
Well,
There's
honestly,
much enjoyment in chaos.
The news feels chaotic.
You like causing chaos normally. I do actually, yeah.
What have you two got for us?
Well, from 9:30 we are tuning back into the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, this time for Kat Little, who is the Permanent Secretary at the Cabinet Office, and she is expected to talk about the document that she found that she claims shows that Peter Mandelson did fail his security vetting. So potentially going to contradict Sir Ollie Robbins' evidence. Will she be supporting the Prime Minister? It's going to be box office viewing again.
And remember, it was the Cabinet Office, according to Ollie Robbins, which was pushing back on the need for Mandelson to have any form of security vetting whatsoever. So we'll ask about that.
But if it was the Cabinet Office that was aware that then why wasn't the Prime Minister told?
Well, we understand that she discovered this document 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago now, when she was looking for the documents that have to be released under this humble address that the Tories forced through, came across it and then had to take legal advice about whether she was allowed to tell Downing Street, given how sensitive this is for national security. So it's very complicated, but it could be explosive.
You understand this more than the rest because you were an MP, right? So you must have your head around this a bit more than the rest of us. But this idea that actually he didn't fail, but he was just sort of, they were leaning strongly against him passing.
And it was Ollie Robbins' final decision, and that was the normal procedure, but we're going to find out, aren't we?
Going to be good, isn't it?
But we've got all that after your weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Largely dry and sunny one again today. Still a bit breezy in places, quite warm inlands, but those breezes will bring a chill to some coast. Bit of a misty, murky start over parts of eastern England, and the coast of the North Sea may stay a bit misty for much of the morning, but generally it's dry and it's sunny. Still a bit breezy in the southwest, not quite as gusty as yesterday, but still a noticeable wind here, and a bit of a breeze bringing a cooler feel along the coast of East Anglia and Kent, and generally temperatures on that east coast in the low teens, but inland across parts of Wales and the Midlands, high teens, low 20s likely, and a warmer feel across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland too. So a fine end to a sunny day for much of Scotland. The wind's pretty light here. Where we've got the breeze coming in from the sea, it will be a little bit cooler, but certainly inland feeling pleasant well into the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Northern Ireland. Just a bit of patchy cloud here, and again around the coast might just be a little bit misty. The sea fret should be burning away through the day, but there's always the possibility of a little bit of it lingering around the east coast of England. I mentioned those breezes in the southwest, a touch lighter today compared to yesterday, but still quite noticeable and still there overnight as well. As the breeze feeds in, a bit of mist and low cloud across these eastern parts is likely through the night, so could wake up to a bit of fog tomorrow morning, and likely to be a pretty chilly night across these eastern parts of England. Some pockets of frost certainly likely in rural spots, and quite a few towns and cities not far off freezing to start Friday. So a cold start, a grey start as well, but I think pretty rapidly any mist and low cloud, certainly inland, should tend to clear away. And then look at that. Plenty of sparkling blue sky, lots of sunshine on offer again on Friday. Again, a bit of a breeze in the southwest, but the wind's continuing to ease down through the rest of this week, and certainly inland in that sunshine, feeling pretty warm, getting warmer still into the weekend.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming